It is a rivalry steeped in tradition that has endured for generations. Today, for the 142nd time, it is Fitchburg versus Leominster, and for the 116th time, it's on Thanksgiving Day. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bullock. We are live here at Doyle Field. Dan, it has been 6 years since we could say that. We are live at Doyle Field on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, it's been a long time. 2020, we had this little thing, a pandemic.
It's no big deal. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, but then 2018, we had this little thing called extreme cold.
The temperature was the very little thing that we talked about a lot back in 2018.
Yep, and so 2016, the last time that we were here on Thanksgiving morning here from Doyle Field. And it's going to be another exciting matchup between these two teams. The colors are out. The Red Raiders in their red uniforms, the Blue Devils in their blue uniforms, just like it is every Thanksgiving. It's part of that tradition, and yes.
It is a tradition that is unique to North Central Massachusetts, one of the longest running football rivalries in the country. But of course, Dan, it's not just us working together here today. We have an entire crew, including down on the field. Let's go to Glenn Fossa and Kaya Hidanovich.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are here at Doyle Field in Leominster on the 24th of November. I'm here with the superintendent of Fitchburg Public Schools, Mr. Bob Jokola. It's a pleasure to have you today.
It's great to be here. Happy Thanksgiving to residents of Fitchburg and Leominster.
Perfect. And if you are still wondering whether you can come to the game, we are just moments away from kickoff, so please come and support either Fitchburg or Leominster, your choice. Glenn, I also know you have a host.
We do indeed, Kaya, and again, good morning from Fitchburg Access Television. We are live. We are live for this show today, and Paula Deacon, Superintendent of Schools, Leominster District. Paula, great to see you today. You've got some blue, and I'm sure we're looking forward to the day.
Happy Thanksgiving as well, everybody. What a gorgeous day to come on down. I think it's actually warmer than we thought it was going to be. There's no wind, the sun's shining, so whoever can get here, come on down and support our kids.
Yeah, so, the rivalry is over 100 years old, and the district, of course, does so well with this rivalry, as from years gone past and decades. What's new this year coming back out of COVID?
So I have to say the energy is probably the best we have felt in years. I've been coming to this for over 40 years myself. I've been on both sides of the field, I will admit. But I have to say, all the events that we've put together, people have been coming out, supporting our students. There is just an energy level that these two communities want to get back together. They want to physically be here, they want to be outside, and as you can see by our teams, the participation is huge. So we're back, we're 100%, and good luck, Red Raiders.
Kaya, you've got a great guest here, both districts well represented with Superintendent Jokola, of course. Thanksgiving, Mr. Superintendent.
Well, Thanksgiving, it's all about being together and celebrating traditions and really showing the residents of the communities what's great and what's in common of both communities. Sportsmanship, friendship, camaraderie, and doing what's good for the community as well. As today we'll announce the results of the can drive, the annual can drive. So we'll see who comes out on top on that contest as well. So that's great.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving is that time when so many folks from the community join us, and of course we've got the Honorable Mayor Stephen DiNatale joining Kaya right now.
Good morning, folks, and everyone out there. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day. We got a beautiful day out here at what's the name of this field? Doyle Field. That's right. I got it. Okay. It slipped me for a minute there. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you got a great day, and we hope for a competitive match and go red and gray.
This is so awesome. Live again, Fitchburg Access Television, coverage of the Leominster-Fitchburg game continues. And this Thanksgiving 2022, we've got a clip, and we're going to go back to you in the bus.
I'm Journey, and I'm a member of the Red Raider Review. I hope you are enjoying the game. Thanksgiving is a very special event for us Red Raiders. Not only do we look forward to defeating the Leominster Blue Devils on the football field and in our annual canned food drive, but we also enjoy spending time with our Red Raider family and friends. Our Red Raiders, Olivia, Kaya, Jaquan, and myself, went out and asked our students and faculty what Thanksgiving means to them and what's their favorite part of the holiday season. Let's take a look.
So,
And what's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
turkey,
And And who do you think is going to win the football game? Fitchburg High School or Leominster?
Fitchburg High School.
Let's go. So what are your names?
Omar. Elijah.
Okay, so what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Mac and cheese. Stuffing, probably.
And who do you think is going to win the Thanksgiving rivalry game?
Fitch for sure, because it's Leo Kane. Craig and Leo. We about to take this dub. We about to take this dub. That's all I got to say for me.
Okay, who do you think is going to win the FHS versus Leo Thanksgiving game?
Us.
Okay, what about you, Shay?
Yeah, definitely us.
Why?
Because we've been working and we're going to get Leominster back for what they did to us at the start. You know that.
Alrighty.
Eric Iboa.
And what's your favorite Thanksgiving food and why?
I would say ham. You know, it's really seasoned. My family makes it good.
And last question, who do you think is going to win the Thanksgiving rivalry game?
Fitchburg, of course. Come on.
Okay, so what is your favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving and why?
The turkey. The turkey is tradition. Love the turkey.
All right, all right.
Who do you think is going to win the Thanksgiving rival game?
The Red Raiders.
Bellacrom.
All right, and what is your favorite Thanksgiving tradition with your family?
Eating.
Anything else?
Spending time with my family.
Okay, okay.
Devani DeLeon.
Nick Tebow.
What are your guys' favorite Thanksgiving foods?
Mac and cheese. Mashed potatoes. And belly.
I'm killing anything on my grandma's table. Anything.
And who do you think is going to win the Thanksgiving rivalry game?
What, Fitchburg, Leominster?
Fitch. You know the vibes, bro. Fitch.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Fitch.
Yo, look out for number 5. And number 3. Get the cam on 3. Look out for number 3. I'm here with my boy.
Jaquan.
All right. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
The stuffing. Stuffing be bussin'.
Stuffing? All right. Well, who you think's about to win this Thursday? I mean, Thanksgiving.
You know, I'm on Red Raiders, but to be honest, my people at LHS, my people at LHS is like that. Stop playing. My people at LHS is like.
And of course, it was a pleasure to be interviewing the students of Fitchburg High School on their favorite moments of Christmas and, of course, to get that Red Raider spirit. I'm here now with City Councilor Sam Squalia. Sam, it's a pleasure to have you.
Hi, Kaya. Hi, Glenn. Go Red Raiders. It's going to be a big day today. We've got, 16 minutes to kick off here at Doyle Field. This will be great.
And we want to remind everybody at home there is time to get to Doyle and watch this incredible game. Once again, 2022, over 100 years old. And you've got to have some input to that. Incredible countrywide record that we have here in the Twin Cities.
One of the oldest Thanksgiving rivalries in the country. Fitchburg versus Leominster. I don't know what number it is. 119, 120.
I think it's 140.
I
feel like it is.
And this game is so beautiful today. It's sunny and it's fairly warm, really. It's so much better than the last time we were here when it was like 10 degrees and nighttime and windy. This is beautiful. You got to come here today. Yeah. Root on the red.
And we've seen it. We've seen it out here with 18 inches of snow being removed by equipment the day of the game. We've been here when it's been so warm you have to take your jacket off and your scarf. And so it's just another great day for Thanksgiving. Who's cooking the turkey?
My mom's cooking the turkey. I'm going to come home and everything's going to be ready. That's what I'm hoping, at least.
So Thanksgiving Day 2022 Fitchburg Access Television live coverage continues, but still time to come in. When you buy a ticket, you support Fitchburg and Leominster High School football and athletic programs. So it's so important to join us, and we'll be here right up till the end of the game, and even beyond that, potentially, Kaya.
Certainly, yeah.
Celebration.
Back to you on the truck.
Thank you so much to Glenn Fossa as well as Kaya Hidanovich for your fantastic work helping us out with the pregame show. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Hopefully we'll hear more from you as we get ready for more football here at Doyle Field in Leominster. Once again, John Gugerty joined by Dan Bolak in the visitors press box. Dan, always a treat to get to a stadium that has multiple press boxes, even if it means we're going to be seeing everybody's back today.
No, it's a luxury to be able to have multiple press boxes. Doyle Field has proven itself to be one of the best facilities in Central Mass. They hosted a couple of soccer championship games just this past Saturday, and they're such a common host site, if you will, and it's great accommodations. It's always nice to come out here.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic field, and I just want to echo Glenn's sentiments real quick. If you have time, to the folks watching in Fitchburg on FATV or watching anywhere in the world via the FATV app or FATV on your various streaming devices, if you have the time and the ability, come on down to Doyle Field. It's cold. I'm not going to lie. It is cold, but it's not like super cold. It is double-digit degrees outside. I feel fairly confident saying that. So it's a good day for football. It's a fantastic day for Thanksgiving. Again, the 142nd meeting of the rivalry, the 116th at or around Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure we're counting, 2018 when we did it the day before. That counts as one of the Thanksgiving meetings. So call it the 116th at Thanksgiving, even if it's not necessarily on Thanksgiving. But I digress. There is the matter of a football game after all. Fitchburg comes into this one with a record of 4-6, but that doesn't really play fairly, Dan, to their recent performance. Fitchburg has won their last 3 consecutive games, defeating Doherty, Algonquin, and Tantascwa. Other side of the equation, Leominster, they come in at 7-3. They were the 11th seed in the Division II playoffs. Unfortunately for them, they got knocked off by Reading. And also a couple of weeks ago, back on November the 10th, they dropped a game against Taunton. So Fitchburg's won 3 straight, Leominster's lost 2 straight. Teams with a little bit different momentum than you might think based off of their earlier matchup this season.
That's one of the positive things going to this game for the Red Raiders is the fact they do have momentum. They've been playing very strong over the last couple of weeks, with the consolation games that they've been playing, and it's possible, they're playing opponents that are more on their level. They played an incredibly tough schedule this season. They finished the regular season with that victory over Doherty, 16-7. Against Algonquin, they won in the last minute. Luke Bolak found Johnny L. Silvestri with under a minute remaining, and Luke Bolak was able to run in the 2-point conversion, make it 21-20, take that victory over the Titans. And then 2 weeks ago on November the 10th at Tantascwa, that was a back-and-forth game, went down to the final seconds. All 48 minutes ran off the clock, and Tantascwa was in front, but the Red Raiders given an untimed down 1 yard from goal. Luke Bolak able to sneak it in for the victory, 33-28. The Raiders took that one, and so they've got some momentum coming into this contest. For Leominster, they went into the Division II playoffs, the number 11 seed. Division II just loaded this year with so much talent. They would have been the number 9 seed if they had been in Division I, just to show how strong of a field Division II was, and it was a back-and-forth game against Reading. They were down by 14 points in the fourth quarter. They wrestled it back. They tied it up with about 3 minutes to go, but the Rockets of Reading were able to drive down the field, score with 16 seconds left, take a 51-44 victory. And then in their consolation game, they drew the number 6 seed from Division I in the Tigers of Taunton, who had been upset by Everett in the round of 16. And the Tigers took out some frustrations in that one. 28-12 was the final in that one. So Leominster, they've lost the last 2 games, but playing against 2 very strong teams, and they may have some frustrations to take out on this Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. That's a valid point, Dan. Leominster might be a little frustrated. They remember, they made the playoffs. They've lost these last 2 games. Could be a bit of a revenge game for them, try to end their season on a high note. Always a high note when you can beat your rival on Thanksgiving, of course. But we're going to head back down to the field. Glenn Fossa and Kyle Hidanovich standing by. Why don't you take it down from here, folks?
Thank you, Mr. Gugerty and Dan Bolak, of course, up in the booth. With me here is Mark Bedanza, an attorney here in the city of Leominster, and of course the Doyle Commission and his membership. He's going to tell us a little bit about it. Everyone knows Mark Bedanza, having written a number of books about Leominster High athletics, of course. 4 books, yeah, incredible. And of course you've got some folks with you, Mark. Tell us more.
I do. Thank you, Glenn. Happy Thanksgiving to all, first and foremost. With me is Mikey Donatelli. She's the chairman of the Leominster Recreation Commission and also the spouse of Gil Donatelli, who is the chairman of the Doyle Field Commission. and also the president of the Leominster Football Foundation, which is principally responsible for all of the improvements to this beautiful facility. Next to him is Peter Angelini, who is the third member of the Doyle Field Commission, along with myself and Gil, and Billy DeLillo, who's here for our moral support and has had a deep connection to this rivalry, having 3 boys, I think, play in this game, and himself.
Well, of course, we've seen the improvements here at Doyle, and of course, even at Crocker Field, the historical Crocker Field in Fitchburg. But you've got to be proud of the decades of work that have been done in this city to show this field today.
Yeah, you know, it started in 1931 with the generous gift of Bernard Doyle. This field was dedicated on October 10th of that year. What a lot of people don't also credit Bernard Doyle was he hired the first professional coach in Leominster in 1927, which turned around a program that couldn't beat Fitchburg to save their life. And you know, this game sometimes, this rivalry is streaky, and I never thought I'd see the day where Leominster would actually lead it. That's how old I am, but we do now, 70 games to 61 with 10 ties. And it's exciting to be here, Glenn, every year. It's a wonderful heritage for our communities. And you can tell there's an electricity in the air, and we're looking forward to a good game with lots of great sportsmanship.
Now, maybe you can shed some light on this. I did understand that broadcast media was saying that the oldest game is Newton-Wellesley, and there's some controversy as to whether we take that position 1 and position 2.
Oh, we're not even close. There's at least 10 of these games that are older than us. The first game, 1882, Needham-Wellesley, was played when football was invented that year. I mean, so it's hard to be older than that. Norwich, Connecticut, Norwalk, Connecticut claim even older than that, but I don't think they were playing football back then. There's a bunch of them, and there's all sorts of ways to cast the statistics. This is continuous since 1924 with the exception of the pandemic miss. But this has a lot of games. I think this is the 142nd game because our rivalry has included double games in some years. Now recently, but also way back in the teens and the early 20s. So we're not the oldest, that's a myth. We're not the second oldest, that's a myth. Okay. But we are special. I mean, we are a special rivalry. In 2010, this series was tied after all those years, all those games, and after the regulation game that was played that year, the game was tied. They had to do 2 tiebreakers to break the tie. It's almost like the football gods wanted the 2 cities to be tied.
Mark Bedanza, thank you so much. Fitchburg Access Television live coverage of the 2022 rivalry continues. Kaya Hidanovich will be with us in just a few minutes, and back to you in the booth.
Thank you so much, Glenn Fossa. Always a treat to get interviews down on the field, especially before Thanksgiving. Back here in the booth from Doyle Field in Leominster, we're just over 6.5 minutes away from kickoff here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bullock. And Dan, we've talked a bit about how these teams have performed this season. You know, Fitchburg again coming in winners of their last 3 games, Leominster losers of their last 2. But that's not the only history between these teams. Obviously, there is the matter of the 142nd meeting of the rivalry. And recent history has not gone Fitchburg's way, and that's being fairly kind.
Especially on Thanksgiving Day. The last time that Fitchburg scored on Leominster on Thanksgiving was back in 2017 at Crocker Field. That was the Sal Figueroa game, in which the Red Raiders came away with the victory in that one, 34-21. That broke an 8-year losing streak on Thanksgiving, but since then it's been all Leominster. They had the shutout in 2018 on that Wednesday night, that 7-0 victory on 2019, and then last year, the dominating performance on that Thanksgiving, just taking over that holiday.
Of course, last year I remember saying it was one of the more disappointing performances from Fitchburg. So much controversy going on with the Red Raiders around that game. Thankfully, thus far, not as much of that. Hopefully, we have a good, fun game, a tight game, and hopefully Fitchburg can put up, if you're a Fitchburg partisan, let's say, a Fitchburg partisan or someone rooting for a good game, hopefully it'll be a tighter game today. Hopefully Fitchburg can actually put some points on the board. But we're going to send it down to the field one more time. Kaya Hidanovich is standing by. Kaya?
And I'm here right now with 2 senior cheerleaders and 1 future junior cheerleader, Captain Americus Rivera, Gabrielle Pierce, and Macy Cupford. Guys, I'm just gonna start very simple. Do you prefer pumpkin pie or apple pie? Because this is very important.
Personally, I like apple pie better. I'm a pumpkin pie girl. I'm an apple pie girl.
I don't understand. I love pumpkin, and I do not like apple pie at all. Seniors, this is your last Thanksgiving rivalry game. How does it feel?
I'm excited. I haven't actually been to one yet, so this is
your
time.
first one?
Yeah.
Amazing. How about you?
It's a little bittersweet, but this is a game that everyone always comes to even after graduating, so it'll be fun to see it continue.
Now, a lot of people usually focus for the Thanksgiving game on the football team, but not a lot of people focus on how hard the cheerleaders and the marching band is working. How hard are you guys working for this game?
I would say pretty hard. We do practice almost every day, so a lot of work is being put into it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. We need more recognition for our cheerleader team. And how does it feel knowing that you're going to be a captain of the cheerleader team next year? Is there anything that you're planning on doing?
There's nothing that I'm really planning on doing, but I want to bring back some traditions that used to come like from the prior years, and I want to bring those back for future cheerleaders coming up.
Perfect. And if you're still questioning on whether you should come, we are just about to start kickoff. Please make sure that you come to Doyle Stadium in Leominster for the second longest rivalry game in the country, Fitchburg versus Leominster. We'll see you there.
Thank you so much, Kaya Hidanovich, with some Fitchburg cheerleaders here at Doyle Field in Leominster. Very important hard-hitting question, Dan, and I'm going to pose it to you. Pumpkin or apple? I'm apple.
It's like, I don't really, it's like I can't really do pumpkins, can't really do apples.
Okay. Give me a baked good. Give me a Thanksgiving baked good that you enjoy. What's your sweet treat on Thanksgiving?
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. That's perfectly valid answer. Any time is a good time for chocolate cake. We demand chocolate cake in the booth right now. Make it. It's not going to happen, but we're never the kind of people who demand things in the booth. Fitchburg is taking the field again, as we alluded to earlier. Fitchburg in the red and gray. Leominster will be in the blue and white, color on color here on Thanksgiving. Visiting side taking the field first because obviously, you know, we're Fitchburg Access Television. I'm wearing a red shirt and Dan's plastered in the FATV logo. We're kind of interlopers here, so Fitchburg is the visiting side, and Leominster will get the big hometown pop. Again, it's been 6 years since they've actually been here on Thanksgiving. So it's a special day for the Blue Devils. It's a special day for all of us. Again, the 142nd meeting of the rivalry, 116th on Thanksgiving. We are so happy. It is always an honor and a privilege to be able to call this game here on Thanksgiving, here on FATV. You know, so many greats have done it before, and Dan, we're going to hope to live up to at least a little bit of that legacy.
We're going to try our best, as we always do.
That's all we can promise, and it's all we can deliver. Hopefully it's good enough as the Blue Devils take the field just a couple minutes away from kickoff. Again, here from Doyle Field in Leominster. Still plenty of time to come on down if you're in the area. It's a beautiful day, especially in the sun as it warms up just a little bit.
Put it this way, this is probably the worst weather I've had this year.
Yeah.
And that shows how good a weather we've had in all of our broadcasts.
We have been very fortunate this year in all of the games we've done together, all the games you've done solo. There hasn't been a terrible weather day, and again, it's not a terrible weather day, it's just, you know, cold. It's almost, Dan, and stop me if I'm saying something radical here, it's almost as if it's late November in New England.
Yeah. It's the type of weather you'd expect at this point of the year.
Now, granted, 2 weeks ago it was 70 degrees, so this is a bit of a shock, but, you know, it's late November in New England. We're used to this, we tell ourselves.
As we say.
So we take a look again at the teams as they come in, ready for this 142nd meeting of the rivalry. Leominster lost their last 2 games, but again, that was against very stiff competition in Division II Reading with a 9-1 record and D1 Taunton at 6-4. Fitchburg has won their last 3 on the bounce. That was against 3 sub-500 teams. Strongest team they beat, at least by record, was Tantascwa. They carry a 4-6 record. But of course, Dan, it's not just Fitchburg and Leominster who play on Thanksgiving. Yes, in this area, Fitchburg, Leominster, they've been doing it for the longest, but there are other schools that have been playing.
Yes, and 2 Fitchburg schools were in action last night. St. Bernard's was down at Brian Kelly Stadium on the campus of Assumption University against the Knights of St. Paul, and the Bernardians able to hold on to the Bishop's Cup, a 48-20 victory led by Damian Jones, 4 touchdowns for the senior running back. And Monty Tech was in action against Neshoba Valley Tech in their annual Thanksgiving matchup. And that was a game where, going into that matchup, all-time Neshoba Tech 23-6 in the rivalry, but Monty Tech with their most decisive victory perhaps ever in the rivalry, 44-8 they took down the Vikings. And both those teams are going to play again next week. Monty Tech's going to be in the Large Vote Championship against Bay Path, and St. Bernard's is going to be at Gillette Stadium taking on West Boylston.
That sounds like a wonderful game. I strongly envy whatever broadcast crew gets to go to Gillette and call that game, and we will speak no more of it. Anyway, as the captains head to midfield, we want to thank our underwriters here on FATV. Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel and Enterprise. Thank you so much to them for all of the support that they've provided for this season and many seasons in the past. All of these underwriters have been with us for quite some time here on FATV. We are so thankful to all of them. And hey, if you own a business in the area and you want to get your name on this graphic right here, you can always go to fatv.org, give us a call. There are terms, there are conditions, but we're always happy to welcome support, always happy to be a part of the community here at Fitchburg Access Television. It's more than just a slogan, although it is a catchy slogan, I'll give it that. We are indeed working together for a stronger community.
And you need not even be a Fitchburg, community. I mean,
there you go.
North End Subaru is from Lunenburg.
That's right.
We accept all types of businesses. As long as you want to support the community, support us. By all means, we will happily take your money.
Absolutely. We are ready for kickoff here on Thanksgiving. We will have the combined bands playing the national anthem in just a moment, and then we will be back with the 142nd meeting of the rivalry from Doyle Field in Leominster. It's Thanksgiving football right here on FATV.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and face to the west in our big, beautiful U.S. flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem performed today by both the Fitchburg and Leominster High School marching bands, Leominster under the direction of band director Robert Bergeron and drum major Maya Cohen.
Fitchburg High School football here on FATV, the 142nd meeting of the rivalry. The Red Raiders of Fitchburg, the Blue Devils of Leominster, coming to you this year from Doyle Field in Leominster. Again, here on FATV, along with the FATV app, available on your Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku streaming devices, fatv.org. Anywhere there is internet, anywhere in this wide world of ours, you can watch this incredible game, these two incredible schools, and this incredible rivalry. I promise I will stop saying the word incredible, Dan, after I say it feels incredible to be here. I am jazzed. I am ready. Let's play some football.
We are going to have 48 minutes of football here for you today in what is going to be another Another chapter in this long, long tale.
The Red Raiders won the coin toss and deferred, so they will kick going right to left across your television screens, again wearing the brick and pewter, red jerseys and gray pants. Leominster in the blue and white. They will be going left to right, of course. Both teams scored early in the first matchup. Leominster scored often, Fitchburg didn't, but hey, might look to see plenty of offense here. Ricky Encarnacion set deep to return for the Blue Devils.
Looks like Manny Encarnacion going to kick off for the Red Raiders.
Encarnacion gets away a good kick, sending Ricky back to his own 4-yard line. Fakes a handoff, he's going to keep it himself. He's across the 20 and is spun down just across his 25-yard line. Let's call it the 27. We'll see the Blue Devil offense for the first time.
It's been pretty inconsistent in terms of who's been the kicker for the Red Raiders. Seems like they have a different guy every week, but Manny Encarnacion has shown himself to probably have the best leg of all. The junior O-lineman, 6'2", 245, really sent that one flying.
Blue Devil offense will take the field for the first time, led by Osiris Lopez. He's the freshman. 27 passing touchdowns on the year. From the shotgun, handoff goes to Makai Newton, running to his left. He gets a good block. He's across the 35, and we'll spot him out right there. It's a gain of about 7 on first down.
That's going to be one of the big challenges for the Red Raiders. When these two teams met at the kickoff at the beginning of the season, Leominster had 7 drives of note. They had 7 touchdowns.
Red Raiders have not been able to stop the Blue Devils all season, which, again, they've played a full football game already, so that's not great. Blue Devils from the shotgun, 2nd down and 3 from their own 35-yard line. Back to either side of Lopez. He fakes the handoff, wants to keep it himself. He's got blockers to the left, across the 40, and he'll be spotted out of bounds at about the 43. That's good enough for a Blue Devil first down.
And Osiris Lopez, a freshman quarterback, but he's got size at 6 feet tall, 175 pounds. Not afraid to run the football, too. 360 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
Almost 30 combined touchdowns through the air and on the ground for the freshman QB. If you're a Blue Devil fan, you've got to be optimistic about the next few years, just based off of the quality of play you can expect from the quarterback position. Blue Devils will go from the gun again. Lopez has Newton to his right, sends a man in motion. That's Drinkwater. And we get whistles and flags before the play. My apologies, it was Encarnacion in motion. Not that it matters. This one's coming back 5 yards.
First penalty of the contest will go against the Blue Devils for the false start.
Again, folks, we are in the visiting side press box. The RFM crew got the home side, which is fair. They have more ties here. We concede that part. We're the interlopers. So the logo at midfield isn't upside down. The referees aren't being mean by showing you their backs. It's just we're on the other side of the field from where we usually are. First down and 15 for the Blue Devils. Lopez from the shotgun, hands off to Encarnacion, trying to turn the corner. Gets across the 40, and he's spun down close to the original line of scrimmage. I think they're going to give him a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Leominster.
And Encarnacion, one of those dynamic runners, about 300 yards on the ground and 6 touchdowns, but more prolific through the air where he's pulled in nearly 1,100 receiving yards. They'll give him to the 45.
19 combined touchdowns for Encarnacion, 6 on the ground, 11 as a receiver, along with a kick and punt return. Definitely the most explosive player on the Leominster side. 2nd down and 9 for the Blue Devils. They wound up giving him 6 on that first down carry. Encarnacion is to Lopez's right, but he throws quick to the left. This is Caden Drinkwater. Drinkwater's across the 50 before he gets dragged down. Joshua Nardi demonstrating his STO, first wrestling reference of the day. I guarantee it won't be the last. Technique needs a little bit of work as a wrestling move, but as a football tackle, Dan, it was pretty effective.
Pretty solid there, held him to a gain of 6, and in the game back in September between these two sides, Osiris Lopez found Caden Drinkwater twice. Both times they were for touchdowns. That time, just a 6-yard gain. Brings up 3rd down.
3rd down and 3, in fact. Blue Devils are just over Fitchburg territory at the 49. Now we get a flag. Whistles kill the play. Leominster partisans here in the press box were screaming that someone was offside, but it is a false start indicated against the Blue Devils. That'll back Leominster up.
Second penalty against Leominster on this drive, really on this set of downs too. Makes it just a little more difficult, brings it back to their own 46-yard line.
They had 1st and 15, they got it all the way up to 3rd and 3, but now another penalty causes it to be 3rd and 8. Leominster's on their own 46 now. They need to get to Fitchburg's 46. It's weird how football works out like that sometimes.
Symmetry of the field.
Shotgun once again for the Blue Devils. Encarnacion is to Lopez's right. Straight drop, looks to throw to his left. Passes high, but it's brought down just across the midfield stripe. He's going to be a couple yards shy of the line to gain. That was Caden Drinkwater, another freshman, with the catch. Drinkwater and Lopez, a promising combination of freshmen here for Leominster. This combination, however, Dan, this time rather, they're just a couple yards short, but it looks like the Blue Devils are going to go for it.
Just like last time, it was a gain of 6 yards, brings up 4th down and 2 to go. This would be big for Fitchburg if they can get a stop here.
Lopez is not on the field. It's a weird formation. This is Brian Aguilar. No, it's Encarnacion taking the direct snap, and he is very close to the line. This is going to come down to the spot. He's right at the 46, and they're going to give it to the Blue Devils. So for 4th and 3, Dan, they go basically a wildcat with Encarnacion and 3 blockers in front of him. It almost looked like a punt formation without a punter, you know? Just snap it to the gunner, essentially.
That's something they've been not afraid to do at times, to go to Encarnacion. Again, one of the more dynamic players that Leominster has at their disposal. Why not just get it directly into his hands?
Fresh set it down for the Blue Devils. Wanted to go deep, it's not there. Tosses it out to Newton instead. He gets across the 40 before he's pushed out of bounds. It's a good gain on 1st down, not a great one, however. It's going to be about 9. Actually, no, they're going to give him a 1st down, so move the chains once again. Johnny L. Silvestri was the man who pushed him out, but not before he got the 1st down.
Just trying to look downfield quickly enough. Couldn't find any deep receivers down there, but Mackay Newton was wide open on the far sideline and able to run for those yards, get 10 in the 1st.
Good deep coverage by the Red Raiders, but they left that swing route open. Good job by Lopez to find Newton and pick up the 1st down. Fake the handoff to Encarnacion. Newton under pressure. Lopez dumps it off. Encarnacion's got the catch, and he's out of bounds. No, incomplete. He caught it out of bounds. Pass is incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
We thought that was good enough for a 1st down. We saw the referee signal a 1st down and move the chains. The chain crew disagreed. They still have it at 3rd and 1.
So as we take a look at this one, yeah, Encarnacion, Dan, just lost track of where he was on the field. He came in motion, swung out on the little wheel route, but he was out of bounds for a good few steps before he touched that ball. So it is 3rd down and 1. Scoreboard crew got confused just as we were. It is not 2nd and 10, it is 3rd and 1. Leominster from the shotgun. This time they'll hand it off straight up the middle. I think the ball's on the turf. No, still 2nd effort, fighting for it. The rugby maul forms. Pretty sure that's going to be enough to move the chains.
I think I saw them signal 4th down, and it didn't look like he got to the 36 that time. It's going to be pretty close.
He's just shy of the 4. Yeah, he's about 2 football lengths shy of the 36. We'll take a look at it again. Good stout blocking up front. Fantastic job by 71, Ephraim Ganepo, the defensive tackle. DT for the Red Raiders doing his job there. 4th down again for Leominster. They want the hard count. Red Raiders showing pressure. Lopez comes up to the line. Now he takes the snap, handoff straight up the middle. That's a 1st down. Newton's got plenty. Forward progress stops across the 30 to about the 28-yard line. It's another 1st down for the Blue Devils.
It's going to be so tough to stop the Blue Devils there. And it's Newton who takes the run up the middle, able to bounce off a couple of guys, able to get to the 29-yard line, a gain of 8 in the 1st down.
4th and 1, and they still go from the gun, but hey, if it's effective, it's effective. Ain't broke, don't fix it and all that. 1st and 10 Blue Devils after their 2nd 4th down conversion of this drive. Lopez back to pass, under pressure, rolls right. Still rolling right, wants to chuck it across his body, but wide open is Drinkwater. He's across the 10, still on his feet to the 5. He is in. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Caden Drinkwater, a 29-yard catch and run from the freshman quarterback Osiris Lopez to the freshman receiver Drinkwater. Leominster takes the lead, and Dan Fitchburg still hasn't been able to stop the Blue Devils.
10th touchdown catch of the season for Caden Drinkwater, and he put on some moves there, and you can see Osiris Lopez with the footwork to buy time to let Drinkwater get open. He was able to make the catch uncontested, and then from there we saw him bounce off that defender, find the space on the far side, and able to get through 4-6, and one of the Raiders jumped.
Fitchburg gets a little bit jumpy on the extra point attempt. That'll give Leominster an extra yard. Do they just want to scoot their extra point crew forward? Yeah, I think they do. So they'll set up for the extra point. They're not even going to move the holder. He's going to hold it from the exact same spot. Fitchburg jumped again. Joshua Medina is trying to predict that snap count, and he's not doing so well. And now, after the second offside, Leominster's like, all right, fine. If you want to give us, a 2-point conversion from inside the 1-yard line, I guess we'll take it.
So math would tell you that's 3/4 of a foot.
That sounds about right. They're going to go with that Wildcat again. Encarnacion will take the direct snap, runs to his right, plunges in, easy as pie, or easy as chocolate cake, as the cakes may be. 2-point conversion attempt is good. 6:39 to play here in quarter number 1. Leominster leads 8-0.
That drive, 11 plays, 72 yards, 5 minutes and 21 seconds for the Blue Devils. Also 2 4th-down conversions as part of that as well.
Blue Devils showing no fear in the face of 4th and short. Both times it was 4th and short in enemy territory. Absolutely the correct call to go for it. They did, they got it, and it results in points. So the Blue Devils score on their first possession. Now it is incumbent upon the Red Raiders to answer. The last thing Fitchburg wants, Dan, both against Leominster specifically and just in general as a team, is to fall behind by multiple scores. They've shown the potential to Haynes score for score with the team over the course of the season. They have put up 30 points on a few occasions, but they don't want to fall in a 2-score deficit, especially not against Leominster, especially not on Thanksgiving.
I imagine for the Raiders, one of the things they're going to want to do is try to control the clock and control the ball, try to keep command of that football, keep it out of the Blue Devils' hands.
Their defense was on the field for basically half the first quarter. Now the offense needs to get some yards, ideally some points. Low bouncing kick, picked up by Silvestri at the 31, running laterally, trying to turn the corner. He gets across the 35, tried to reverse direction again, but he wound up getting spun out of bounds. It's only a return of about 4 yards, but it was one of the more impressive 4-yard kickoff returns you'll ever see.
Good on Silvestri to get up there. He's one of the more dynamic players that the Red Raiders have in terms of kick returning. And Silvestri able to get up there and run it back to the far side. Got 4 yards and in solid field position to start for the Red Raiders, the 34-yard line, with 6:32 to go in the first frame.
We will see Luke Bolak for the first time. As he leads the Red Raider offense on the field, looking to answer Leominster's score. Raiders go from the eye. Sharp contrast to Leominster. They were in the gun the whole time. First down handoff runs to the right. This is Harvey Early with the carry. Early's across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Just a gain of a few for the senior.
Early officially listed as a tight end. The senior 6'2", 200 pounds, has a touchdown reception on the season. Haven't seen him out of the backfield too often, but trying things up a little differently. After all, the Raiders do have a bunch of players they can plug and play basically in the backfield, including Bolak himself, in the chance that they want to switch things up. They have run with Niall Sim as a quarterback and Bolak as a tailback. That's a possibility we might see later in this contest.
Eli Gonzalez is the tailback now. He'll line up behind Devani DeLeon. It's DeLeon who gets the carry. Fullback plunge straight up the middle on 2nd and long. Picks up a few. It'll be 3rd and about 4 for Fitchburg. Very stark contrast, Dan, between these two offenses just from the first couple of plays. Leominster was shotgun all the way. They had swing passes and try to hit a deep hitter, and if it's not there, go to the flat. They ran out of the shotgun. Fitchburg has been I formation running up the gut a couple of times. If it works, but it hasn't really worked for Fitchburg.
See if the O-line can open up a curtain there, try to drive through. You can see they're loading up the box. Got 8 players in there already.
High snap, Bolak deflects it, he's under pressure, rolling backward, and he is gonna be sacked. That play was doomed from the start. Josh Cormier is the lucky party who gets the sack. Fitchburg's offense wanted to keep the ball at the very least, ideally wanted to tie this game. Instead, they go 3 and out. Take a look at this one again, Dan.
Yeah, there's nothing that Luke Bolak can do. Just knocks the ball down, really. That's the best he could do, was just keep control of the football, able to pull in that snap that went wayward, but taken down for a loss of 13 yards. Not how the Raiders wanted to start offensively in this contest.
Looks like Johnny El Silvestri will kick it away for the Raiders. Ricky Encarnacion sets up deep to return. He's at about his own 40-yard line. So the Blue Devils look to get pretty good field position at the very least. It's a good punt, though, angled away from Encarnacion. Takes a Raider bounce and is scooped up by Josh Medina at about the 37-yard line. So we'll see Leominster's offense once again. 4:08 to play here, quarter number 1. Blue Devils lead 8-0. I just realized, Dan, I've been calling this entire game exactly the way I would call it if this was a radio broadcast. Which, I mean, the people can see things. And it's probably a good habit to be in, nonetheless.
Yeah, there's no problem with that.
It's fine.
36-yard punt there for Silvestri.
I think Medina picked it up a little early. That ball was heading toward the Leominster end zone, but Medina chose to scoop it. First down carry goes to Newton to the left. He's across the 40 before being pushed out of bounds. Gain of a few, we'll call it second down and 6. That feels like second and 6.
Maybe about 7.
Okay.
Knows the football in the 41. I had that going at down at the 38.
Fair enough. So it'll be second down and 7 for the Blue Devils as we approach the 3.5-minute mark to play here at quarter number 1 from Doyle Field. I can get my prepositions right. Lopez from the shotgun. Straight drop, quick pass to the right side is complete. This is the fullback, Cormier. He is wrapped down pretty much immediately after making the catch. It's a gain of a few on the reception, but there was no rack to be had. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Got the quick pass out to the near side, and Cormier able to pull it in. Gave him a really nice spot there because they gave him the 45, and it didn't look like he got to really even the 44, it felt like, looking at the replay.
That is a pretty generous spot. But still, 3rd down and about 3 for the Blue Devils. Lopez goes shotgun, handoff to Newton, trying off tackle left. He breaks out of 1 tackle. He turns the corner. He's got green grass in front of him. 1 man to beat, and that man does drag him down. Touchdown saving tackle made by Doharian Wells, but it's still a big gain for the Blue Devils. Makai Newton takes the ball deep into Fitchburg territory.
Can't give Makai Newton that space to run. On the far side, he's able to break free and get a big number of yards down at the 24-yard line.
First and 10 Blue Devils at the Fitchburg 24. They already lead this game by a score.
That was a 31-yard run there by Makai Newton.
Encarnacion gets the carry this time. Basically the same play in the other direction. Newton cuts back at the 5, spins forward, and he's going to be dragged down there, but that's another big gain, about 19 yards for Ricky Encarnacion. Encarnacion only had about 300 rushing yards on the season coming into this game. They get the ball to him in so many different ways, through the air, on the ground. This time he takes it off tackle right and gets a big gain.
I guess if Makai Newton is thunder, Ricky Encarnacion is lightning.
That sounds about right. Fitchburg can't handle the weather at the moment, it seems. First and goal for the Blue Devils inside the 5. Fake the handoff, Lopez will throw, batted at the line and falls incomplete. Good job by Harvey early getting up to get his hands on that one. A chance at an interception, lucky for the Blue Devils, it fell harmlessly to the turf.
That was great on early, just getting his hands up there and breaking that up. Have a look at it on the replay again. Yeah, just leaping up there, knocking it up in the air.
And you can see he was trying to hit Cormier in the flat, but early doing exactly what you're trained to do as a linebacker. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, try to bat that ball. You never know what can happen. Second and goal. Newton in the backfield. He'll take it running to the left. Cuts upfield. Good containment that time by the Red Raiders. It's a short gain, if any, for Mekhi Newton. It'll be third and goal.
Yep, Josh Nardi and Antonio Santiago coming together to sandwich Newton at the 3-yard line.
They try that off-tackle left run again, but this time it was Nardi who was able to shed his block. You know, coming from that cornerback position, his job is to hold that edge, and he did it enough. Was able to contain Newton, hold him to the line of scrimmage. It'll be third and goal from about the 3. Newton and Encarnacion in the backfield. It's Newton again, and he is dragged down again. This time he didn't even get close to the line of scrimmage.
The Raiders D-line is standing strong here. They'll give him back to the line of scrimmage. But Mekhi Newton gets stopped again and now brings up another 4th down.
Ali Coheel, the first of many Raiders to get there. I think the Raiders will take timeout as they see what Leominster wants to do. First timeout called by either side. Fitchburg has 2 remaining in this first half of play. Gives us a chance for the first time today to thank our fantastic crew helping out here on their Thanksgiving to bring this game to you on yours. Our director today is Nate Glennie. Travis Falk running audio and graphics and everything else. Todd Govan handling replay. Robin Como, Andrew Govan, and Seth Rigby are our camera operators. And thanks again, of course, to Glenn Fossa and Kaya Hidanovich for their fantastic work producing the pregame show. And, you know, I'm John, he's Dan, we're here too. Listen, it's Thanksgiving for us too.
It is. It feels a little surreal. It doesn't feel like Thanksgiving to me for some reason.
It's almost as though you've been trapped in a bubble of society's creation for the last 2 weeks or something.
Just the last week.
Yeah, you know.
Yep, it was, I mean, today was the first time in a week that I left my property.
There you go. But you're here. We're happy you're here. Folks at home are, I'm sure, are happy they get to listen to someone other than me yammer at them for the next 4 hours of their lives. Nobody wants to see me do a Vince Scully impression. Either a literal Vince Scully impression or an attempt to call a football game solo.
Did I fall asleep for a moment? Did Leominster lose 5 yards somewhere?
They lost 5 yards on that last play.
I must have been misreading the outline is what I must have been doing.
There you go. It is 4th and goal from the 8 for the Blue Devils. Newton in the backfield. Lopez rolls to his right. Still rolling. Under pressure. Got to get rid of it. Throws it across his body to the end zone. Pass is tipped and incomplete. Batted away by Antonio Santiago. 4th down conversion, number 4. No good for Leominster. Fitchburg will take over. A big stop by the defense. Dan, we talked about how they did not want to go down multiple scores to the Blue Devils. Take a look at this 4th down play again.
Just rolling, just trying to find anyone open. Looked like he was trying to hit Aguilar there in the back of the end zone. But broken up by Santiago, and the Red Raiders finally get a stop against Leominster in this calendar year.
First time all season that Leominster's had a meaningful drive against Fitchburg that didn't end in the end zone. It almost did. Raiders now backed up inside their own 10-yard line as they take over. 1st and 10, run to the right side is not going to get anything. I believe that was Gonzalez, the ball carrier. Yes, indeed, Eli Gonzalez does have a rushing touchdown for Fitchburg on the season. Didn't get much there on that final play of the first period.
Yep, Gonzalez has got that touchdown last week, that last contest against Tantascwa, in fact. So a very recent addition to the backfield for the Red Raiders. He's a senior, so finally getting the opportunity there late in the campaign as the horn has sounded to indicate 1/4 time here at Doyle Field. It's Leominster 8 and Fitchburg nothing.
So Dan, as we reach the end of this first quarter of play, this feels like an understatement, but Fitchburg should count themselves very lucky that they are only down 1 score.
The way that Leominster was moving the football, they were moving it with efficiency, and Fitchburg putting up one of their best stands deep in their own territory, just trying to stop the Blue Devils from getting into the end zone, and stop them they were. And here we are on television, or I think that's us over there somewhere.
That might be us, I think. Wave. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I don't recognize myself when I'm wearing a hood. Listen, it's cold. That's what it is. It's cold, okay?
And look how bundled up I am. How can I recognize myself either? I can't even see my face. I can't even see my eyes from here.
Exactly, but you can see the football field. That's what matters, right?
Yes.
So you can do play-by-play for quarter number 2?
That's what I'm going to try to do.
All right, why don't you try to do that?
All right, the Red Raiders are 90 yards from goal, but they have the football start of the second quarter, down 8-0. Luke Bolak under center with the quick fullback dive. It's Devani DeLeon, met at the line pretty quickly and taken to the turf. John Escabi, one of the Blue Devils, in on that tackle. Hold them to a minimal gain.
You know, Dan, it's hard to say, pinned this deep in your own territory as you are, this is the time to open up the playbook, but this run up the middle stuff is not going to work. Leominster is ready for it. They are prepped for it. At some point in this game, soon, Fitchburg needs to open it up. They need to do some swing passes, do some reverses, do some play action, do something other than what they've been doing on their first 2 first-down plays.
Now they're going to try to pass over the middle. That's not going to find anybody. Joharian Wells was the closest target, but it was about 5 yards overthrown. The pressure came quite quickly. And the Raiders, they were looking like maybe they wanted to throw on third down on their first drive, but the bad snap prevented that from happening this time around. Quick snap, play action, barely even have time to do that. You can see how quickly the pressure comes in, and Bolak just has to get that throw off, and it's just a bit too strong for Wells to catch up to.
Yeah, that was just play fake. Oh heck, I'm immediately under pressure. Better chuck it deep and see what happens. Worst case scenario there is probably an arm punt. Steven Diaz had good coverage of Joharian Wells, but Fitchburg once again goes 3 and out. This time Johnny El Silvestri will be kicking away from his own end zone, and Ricky Encarnacion will line up at Fitchburg's 40-yard line.
It's not ideal for the Red Raiders, but 2 3 and outs thus far. Leominster had Fitchburg's offense figured out pretty well the last time these two teams met. And this punt will take a bounce at the 40-yard line and then go out of bounds. They are keeping it away from Encarnacion. They know how dangerous he can be. To the 41 it goes. It's a 30-yard punt.
You sacrifice a little bit of distance when you do that, but it probably plays out in the net. Keep the ball out of Encarnacion's hands. He does have a punt return touchdown on the season. We've talked about how explosive he is. Fitchburg knows that. They've played against him. They know what it's like. They don't want to get beat by Ricky Encarnacion any more than anyone watching them does. Hi, Drew. Andrew Govan, one of our camera operators there. Fantastic work as always. I believe this is our first season working with Andrew. And if I'm wrong about that, I apologize.
On first down, Makai Newton shakes off a tackle up the middle. Takes 3 Raiders to wrap them up. Antonio Santiago and Derek Lulamaki are there. I believe Harvey Early also got in on that tackle. Him down at the 32-yard line. Give him 9 on first down.
Nothing fancy there, just straightforward up the middle.
And right back at it on second and short. Newton again playing until they blow the whistle, but he gets to the 29-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first.
And Dan, over time, as Leominster continues to hold the ball, continues to grind possession, it gets to be so hard for Fitchburg. And you can see the Blue Devils pushing the pace here, upping the tempo.
And already get that throw off to the right side. That is going to be caught in the flat by Newton. And then moving forward, he gets to about the 28-yard line. Actually ends up being just a gain of 1 yard on the quick swing pass.
Listen, it's cold, you're hurt, it's the end of the season, you've played a long, exhausting, grinding campaign, and now these annoying blue guys are running the ball down your throats. As a defensive player, if you're going to be dispirited, this is the time. If you're going to run out of energy, if you're going to be exhausted, this is the time. Leominster knows that. That's why they're pushing the pace. That's why they're going for the throw.
9:40 to go, second quarter, 8-0 to the Blue Devils. Encarnacion's gonna run on the near side, looking for some space. And excuse me, that's Osiris Lopez who kept it. Can't read the number quickly enough, but he found a lot of space on the near side. shepherded out of bounds, well past the marker. That'll be a first down for the Blue Devils.
First time today we've seen Lopez run with the ball. Obviously, it's a big part of his game. 57 carries, 360 yards on the season coming into this one.
Got it spotted at the 12-yard line. Leominster knocking on the door again. First down and 10. It'll be Lopez faking the handoff, now rolling out far side. Now tries to shake off a tackle or two. He's inside the 10-yard line. Give him to about the 7, I think.
They go right back to the QB keeper here. I don't think that was an RPO. I think it was just a quarterback keeper all the way. Fake the handoff to Martin. Yeah, he's got blockers there. There's no route. That's a quarterback run all the way. Gets inside the 10, and he's brought down at about the 6. It'll be second down and 4. Leominster can get a first down without getting a touchdown. But, you know, the Blue Devils might as well just plunge it in here if you're a Leominster fan.
171 yards of offense already for Leominster in this contest. Second down and 4 to go.
Fairly certain Fitchburg is not in positive figures.
And to run up the middle on a little bit of cutting and juking from Makai Newton. He's pretty close to the marker if he doesn't already have it. He doesn't have it. They'll bring up third down.
Leominster really likes running that, taking the running back lined up to his left, running him to the right, or vice versa. Just go against the formation, against the way Fitchburg would think based on the way they're lined up that they're going to run it.
From the 4-yard line, out of the shotgun, 2 in the back. And it's going to be Lopez who will keep it himself. To the left side, loses the football, but it goes into the hands of Drinkwater. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Caden Drinkwater must think himself the luckiest man in Leominster. Ball pops out of Lopez's grasp right into his arms. Take a look at this one again. It's a great job by Nardi to get his hand in there and punch that ball free. But then fate is unkind to Fitchburg. Caden Drinkwater plucks it out of the air and walks in for the touchdown.
14-0. Thompson on for the extra point. Kick is up, and that is no good. Wide to the right it goes, and it'll stay 14-0. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was quite the sequence of events that just happened.
I stood up so that I could get a good look at that, and I'm glad I did.
Not often you see that. You see it every now and then on, like, it almost looked like an option play. It was such a perfect, it looked like such a perfect pitch, but it was a fumble. Ball just popped out, landed perfectly right in Drinkwater's arms. He walked in. It's like they drew it up, but, you know, they didn't.
That last drive, 7 plays, 41 yards, 3 minutes and 9 seconds for Leominster.
Take another look at it. It's serendipity for Leominster. Fitchburg did everything right. They held the edge. They contained the quarterback. They sandwiched him with the hit. They knocked the ball loose, and it got into Drinkwater's hands, and he walked in for the touchdown.
You do everything right, but sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you'd like.
Dave Douglas here on the sideline explaining something to Coach Graham. Mr. Graham is understandably displeased with the current state of affairs. His team is losing after all.
14-0. The junior kicker, Daniel Thompson, to kick it away, keeps it on the ground and downed by Santiago at the 42-yard line. Makes the safe play to guarantee himself good field position.
A little surprised he didn't try a run back there, but, you know, that was the play of a kid who has very clearly been coached. Hey, if you get this ball, you better sit down. So he got the ball and he sat down.
Trying to be safe there. So going over the offense, 177 yards on 26 plays for Leominster thus far. Fitchburg has run 6 plays. They have -5.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And honestly, Dan, if I'm Fitchburg, I'm going play action on first down here. You can't just run it up the middle.
On first down, I didn't get as good a look on that as...
It was either a play fake quarterback keeper or a long delayed handoff. I believe it was the latter.
Yep, DeLeon was able to take it. He brought it back to the line of scrimmage.
Dan, I seem to recall someone who will remain nameless saying, and I quote, "You can't just run it up the middle." Fitchburg then proceeded to just run it up the middle. It did not go well for them.
Have only been able to attempt one pass in this contest. Second down and 10 from their own 43-yard line. About 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Bolak wants to throw this time. He's going to throw deep. Battle forward. It's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Steven Diaz at the Leominster 28-yard line.
Similar to the incomplete pass earlier where they did the play fake, this time it's just take a shotgun snap and chuck it deep. Was trying to hit Doherty and Wells, but it was good coverage by Diaz. Take a look, Dan. Bolak isn't looking anywhere else. He's got his man. It is one-on-one coverage. It's not like he was double covered or anything, but Bolak just chucks it up. Diaz makes a better play on the ball.
He does indeed. He'll come away with it. Leominster has the ball back with 6:58 to go in the frame. And here's Mackay Newton rumbling up the middle to the 45-yard line.
Newton just lowered his shoulder and plowed through Stephen Bate. Bate had him lined up at about the Leominster 35, but Newton just ran right through and picked up another 10 yards.
Now run on 1st and 10 again. On the far side, staying on his feet. Newton gets it into Raider territory.
This is a bad drive to be Stephen Bate, Dan. That's the second play in a row where he's had Mackay Newton lined up, and Mackay Newton has kind of looked at him, shrugged, said okay, and proceeded to run right through him. This time it's with the stiff arm right there. Fitchburg takes their second time out of the half, and honestly, they needed it. You don't see this in football as often, but this feels like a basketball timeout. You know, Dan? The other team's going on a run. You're in danger of this game completely going out of hand. Call timeout, catch your breath. This is a basketball timeout. You know what I mean?
It's trying to break tempo here. 6:24 to go in the first half of play. It's Leominster 14. Fitchburg nothing, but right now it's been all Leominster in this contest. Fitchburg is still in the red in terms of total yards gained, while Leominster is now over 200 yards in offense today, 150 on the ground, 87 through Mackay Newton.
We want to welcome everyone watching through the FATV app available in your iPhone's App Store or the Google Play Store, as well as, of course, your Fire TV, Roku TV, Apple TV devices, or just FATV.org, or, you know, Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 36, those still work. You're in Fitchburg, you have traditional cable, FATV. Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Fitchburg has one timeout remaining from my count. Leominster 44 yards from goal. Osiris Lopez standing in the pocket with a bit of time. Ganepo in pursuit of him. And now Lopez runs to the right side, eventually chased out of bounds. Ali Kuhil providing coverage as well on the far side of the field. It's a gain of some yards there for Lopez.
Another good run for the freshman QB Lopez. This time he wants to throw and it's just not there. Got to be impressed not only with the athleticism, but with the poise and decision-making of Osiris Lopez. Leominster, I said it before and I'll say it again, they have to be very optimistic about the next few seasons.
Indeed, second down, time in the pocket, throws deep downfield, looking for Diaz. He's gonna pull that one in for a touchdown. Steven Diaz pulls it in on the one-on-one coverage to make it 20-0.
First time today we've seen Lopez go deep. It's not the strongest throw you'll ever see. It was high, it was floating, but it was beautiful. It was accurately delivered. Diaz again made a great play on the ball as it was in the air. We've seen it on defense for him, and now we see it on offense. Diaz makes the interception that gives the Blue Devils the ball, and then he makes the touchdown reception that gives them 3-score lead.
And so Fitchburg just got caught for offsides again on a point after.
Well, history suggests that if they do it again, Leominster will send out the 2-point crew.
1.5 yards from goal on the extra point. And now they're going to fake, and that didn't work. Maybe not the most confident Aguilar was with the snap.
Yeah, that didn't work. Well, now you can say that not everything has gone perfectly for Leominster today. After all, they were stopped on 4th down once, and there was whatever that was. What was that exactly?
I think the snap went to Aguilar. He was starting to put it down, and he probably wasn't satisfied he could get it down quickly enough for Thompson's timing, and so he tried to pick it up and run with it, and he got next to nowhere.
Still, though, a 3-score lead for the Blue Devils, not even halfway through the second quarter. This is exactly the scenario you didn't want to be in if you're Fitchburg, Dan. The Red Raiders offense works best when they're mixing up the play calling, when you never know what they're going to do, where they're going to go with the ball. And now, if you're the Blue Devils, you know very confidently you can stop them if they run it up the middle. They're not going to have time to get back in this game by running it up the middle. They're going to have to chuck it deep, and you just picked off Bolek when he chucked it deep, so.
Thompson puts it in the air this time. It's going to be taken in at the 15-yard line, and that's Doharian Wells with a bit of hesitation now running up the middle. He'll be bowled down by Encarnacion at the 32-yard line.
Seen some explosivity from Wells when the ball's in his hand. I can remember a game earlier this season where he had a couple of touchdowns called back by penalties. This time he wasn't able to get much. Fitchburg will be set up 1st and 10 at about their own 32.
Bolak lining up in the shotgun. I don't know if we've seen the Red Raiders go out of the shotgun too much. With
Not on
DeLeon.
1st down, certainly.
With DeLeon to his right, throw out to the far side is complete to Nardi. Nardi tries to shake off a man and is able to get past the 40-yard line, and for the first time today, he can stop the clock and move the chains for a 1st down.
Fitchburg's gone for the shotgun on 3rd down before. Last drive they went shotgun on 2nd down. That was the play that led to the interception. This time they go to it on 1st down. Just a quick swing pass out to Nardi in the left flat. He delivers a couple of stiff arms, runs through a few Blue Devil arm tackles, and gets the 1st down.
Nardi with a touchdown reception on the campaign. 5:30 to go, first half, 20-0. Leominster in front. Raiders 56 yards from goal. They'll stay out of the shotgun on 1st and 10 with 4 receivers out there. Bit of a high snap. Bolak taking the time, shaking off a couple of guys. Can't shake off the last one there. Ball came out at the very end, but they'll say he was already down as Giovanni Roman has the sack.
Nicholas Tebow scooped it up and thought, he had 6 points in his eyes, but Bolak was already down. Actually, his elbow was down. It's a good call. His elbow was down. Referee Bill Goslin's right there. He makes the correct call.
That puts the Raiders back in the red in terms of total offense today. Now at 10 plays for -2 yards. Leominster 1 yard short of 250.
Is that good? That feels good.
Does for the Blue Devils on Thanksgiving. 2nd and long. Quick throw over the middle. Caught by Doharian Wells. Met at the 50-yard line by Encarnacion. Give him to the Blue Devil 49-yard line. Got a bunch back right there.
It's a quick slant to Doharian Wells. All of these pass patterns for the Red Raiders have been one read and chuck it. That time it was get the snap and chuck it. Wells just the quickest man off the snap, caught the Blue Devils napping a little bit. He gets back most of the yardage Fitchburg needed. Now it's just 3rd and 4.
Again, they'll work out of the shotgun. Give it to Devani DeLeon. See if he can find a hole in the line. 4 Blue Devils say there's nothing here for you. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and sets up 4th down.
That feels like a play that you run if you're thinking of going for it on 4th down, and the Raiders will indeed keep the offense on the field. The chain game, by the way, Dan, here on the near sideline has no idea what is going on. Both guys have tried to move the chains multiple times. They've got it right now. It is 4th and about 4 for Fitchburg.
I think the Raiders have to get to the 46 for a 1st down. Bolak's going to take it. He's going to get to the 46, loses the football though. And the ball is recovered on the Leominster side of that, and they have the football anyway. The recovery made there by Delmar Wright.
Fitchburg plagued by high snaps all day. It ruined one 3rd down play. It almost ruined this one. Bolak was able to pick it up nonetheless, but then it was a great hit right as he was sliding down, knocked the ball loose. Another fumble goes against Fitchburg. It's a tough break for the Raiders just when it looked like they were getting something going on offense.
And now Lopez will run with it and slide down on the Fitchburg side of midfield.
You know, Dan, that's not a big play. That's not going to, nobody's going to remember that play on the scorebook or anything. They're not going to say, oh, that 4-yard run by Lopez was really impressive. But you know what? That 4-yard run by Lopez was really impressive. He looked downfield. There was nothing there. He took off, ran with it, got what he could. And the second he was in any danger, he got his backside on the turf.
Mackay Newton will take it to the near side. Never finds the opening. He's forced out of bounds at midfield. Joshua Nardi with the tackle on that one for the Red Raiders. A significant TFL for the Red and Gray.
Great work by 3 members of the Raider defensive line, sealing the edge, holding contain. Nardi is finally able to get in there, make the tackle. Fitchburg's defense has been tested many times today, and they've come up short more times than they'd like. But if they can stop Leominster here, give their offense a prayer of a chance of putting points on the board before halftime, that would be huge.
3rd down, about 7 to go for the Blue Devils. Under 2 to go in the 1st half. Lopez with time, throws near side, wants Drinkwater. It's too far. Too much oomph on the pass there from Lopez, and it brings up 4th down.
The first deep ball by Lopez was perfectly delivered to Diaz in the end zone for Leominster's last touchdown. This time, however, he throws it way too long for Caden Drinkwater. We're going to see the Leominster punting unit for the first time today.
Jared Viola is standing in between the 36th and 37-yard line. Raiders did not see Leominster punt when these two teams met earlier this season.
Now the Blue Devils split a couple men out.
Very high snap. Viola has to take a couple steps back to take this one. Ball will bounce at around the 25-yard line, and the Raiders will stay away from that one. It'll be down at around the 27, 28-yard line. Looks like Juan Roman Cruz able to pull that in.
So Fitchburg's offense gets back on the field. 1st and 10 for them. They're at their own 27-yard line with 1:27 to play in the half. They do have 1 timeout, but of course they need to go 70-some yards to get into the end zone. Kicking game has been a question mark all season. At this point, you wonder if Fitchburg would even take 3 points if it was offered to them. But if you're the Raiders, you've got to go for it here. You can't just sit on the ball.
Definitely saw more success out of the shotgun for them. Quick throw on 1st down to the near side. Doharian Wells makes the catch, and he's immediately wrestled to the turf by Diaz.
That's the formula that's been successful for Fitchburg. Go from the shotgun, quick pass, get the ball to Doharian Wells. That's been the best offense they've had. So it's not a surprise to see them go to it here on first down. This time Leominster was ready. They were up in press coverage, and it was a fantastic job by Steven Diaz making the tackle.
Only 1 yard gained on first down. Second down it'll be. 4 receivers, 3 to the far side. Bolak slings it on the far side, looked for Joshua Medina, but in and out of his hands.
Another high snap, and this time a high pass by Bolak. As you said, Dan, he was trying to hit Medina. It was good coverage by Brian Aguilar. Bolak was able to pull down the high snap. He's staring down his receiver. He's never looking anywhere other than where he's going to throw the ball. Aguilar was able to bat it away, and now it's third down for Fitchburg. Worth mentioning as well, Leominster's going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So, very real chance that Fitchburg finds themselves down by 4 scores if they don't get points here.
Offside against Leominster will help matters a little bit.
5 free yards for the Red Raiders is not exactly what Leominster would have wanted. I almost called them the Bulldogs. It's the reverse of how we usually screw that up.
Well, Monty Tech's had a pretty good season.
That's true. That's true. We have called a Monty Tech game this year.
Yep. 9-3, large vocational school finalists. Could be champions. They'll play Bay Path on December the 1st.
You're not exactly upset to have a chance to talk about Monty Tech again, are you?
Not at all.
Okay. I'll screw it up sometime in the third quarter for you, too.
43 seconds to go in the frame. Bolak throws far side. He wants Medina. Has he got Medina? Yes, he has!
There's a flag down on the far side. Fitchburg partisans on this side were screaming for pass interference to be called against Leominster. It did look like they had a handful of jersey. Pass interference against the Blue Devils is declined. They'll obviously take the result of the pass. This is probably the best thrown ball we've seen by Bolak today, and a lot of the credit goes to Medina for going up and getting it.
Medina with 6 touchdown receptions on the season, the most dynamic receiver that the Red Raiders have, able to go up and make that catch even with the DPI.
Great job elevating and bringing that in. Great job by our camera crew capturing it as well.
Bolak looking for time, will throw. Jump ball tipped up. That's going to be an interception. The Raiders coaches think that he was down at that time. But the ball pops up in the air and into the hands of Braden Martin. Let's look at the replay.
Bolak rolls to his right, throws, passes high. Right there, he's got it. How is that not a catch and then down by contact, Dan?
I do not know.
Joshua Nardi had the ball. Well, we'll talk about it.
Throw near side is incomplete.
Okay, so Joshua Nardi makes the catch, right? He's got the ball. Let's take a look at it again here. Nardi's got the ball in his arms. He's clearly contacted by a Leominster player. He smashes down into the turf, which then causes the ball to bounce up in the air. I guess, and this is a guess, perhaps the ruling on the field is the receiver never completed the process of the catch, and also the ball never hit the ground, so it's still live?
Something of that nature.
That doesn't feel right, but...
It could have just been bad sight lines from the officials.
It could have been.
Didn't get the best look of all.
It's probably not going to lead to points for Leominster because there's only 8 seconds left in the half. We're going to take one more look at it here, see if there's something that we're missing.
Now this is a good angle that we should have here.
So Nardi goes up for it. He's got the ball. Does he have complete possession there? That's got to be a catch and down by contact, doesn't it? Does the ball ever hit the ground? It could be an incomplete pass.
I don't think the ball hits the ground.
We don't see it there, and obviously, it's never getting overturned or anything.
I'm thinking from here, I don't think the ball hits the ground, and I don't think he's actually got control of the football.
It could be. It could absolutely be that Nardi never had full control of the football, in which case, that's the correct call.
Yes.
We could always call New York. That's an option.
The Blue Devils have that ball on the 43-yard line, 43 yards from goal. Was that last play a run or a pass?
That was a pass.
That was a pass. You see, getting caught up in all the commotion, sometimes you forget what exactly has happened.
That's all right.
And I'm trying to punch these things into live stats. I want them to be right.
That would be helpful.
Leominster 264 yards of offense. It's a shame I have to put that last one in the books there as an interception.
It was a heck of a pick, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. So Leominster trying to strike in the final seconds of this first half. And Lopez is going for it. It's going to be incomplete. He wanted Drinkwater, but not able to pull it in. And the horn will sound for halftime at Doyle Field. The score, Leominster 20 and Fitchburg nothing.
So Leominster, in fact, does not get the extra points from the turnover. Honestly, Dan, having seen a bunch of replays of that, I think that's the right call. I think you're right. Nardi never had possession, and because the receiver never had possession and the ball never hit the ground, the only correct ruling is that the ball is still live. And then it's picked up by Leominster, so that's an interception.
Yep, and if it goes in the hands of Braden Martin, that's his football. It's his right to advance it.
That's
he does
right.
advance it.
That's right.
And that's what it is.
Totally fair. Fair play.
Yeah, so.
Good luck convincing all of the people 4 feet in front of us who are wearing red that, but, we have the benefit of multiple angles and instant replay and the fantastic FATV camera crew, and they have their Fitchburg partisanship and their spiked hot chocolate, That sounds good. Can we get some spiked hot chocolate? Never mind.
Anyway, I'll go over the first half stats quickly. 85 rushing yards for Mekhi Newton, 45 for Osiris Lopez, 28 for Ricky Encarnacion. That's 160 in total, and 2 for Caden Drinkwater on no rushes and a touchdown. Yes,
impressive.
He has a rushing touchdown and no rushes today.
That's I suppose that's how. What else would you call that? A fumble recovery?
Yeah, it's infinite rushing efficiency there for Caden Drinkwater. He'll never break that.
Caden Drinkwater is defying the laws of football physics.
He is. That's what happens when you've got those breaks going, and Leominster's had a few breaks go their way. Cyrus Lopez is 8 for 14 for 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got 29 passing touchdowns this season. For the Red Raiders, Luke Bolak is 4 for 8 for 52 yards, but he's now been picked twice in this contest, and the running game has just not been there.
Yeah, it's a combination of Leominster has been dominant on every phase of the ball, and also on top of that, every single break has gone Leominster's way. You think about the fumble that just lands in Drinkwater's arms, goes for a touchdown. There's no reason that had to happen. That could have been picked up by the Red Raiders. You think about Bolak's fumble. There's no reason Leominster had to recover that one. That could have been picked up by the Raiders. And obviously that remarkable interception right at the end of the half, that could have been ruled a catch and down by contact. That could have been ruled an incomplete pass. A Fitchburg player could have plucked that ball out of the air and scored with it. So in addition to being outplayed, Fitchburg has been unlucky, and that's a very bad combination, and that goes a long way to explaining why the Red Raiders are down 20-0. So Dan and I are going to take the halftime break alongside the players. We'll send it down to the field for the Fitchburg and Leominster marching bands. It's the 142nd meeting of the rivalry, and it's right here on FATV.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fitchburg High School marching band.
Back here, Doyle Field in Leominster. Blue Devils leading this one 20-0. over the Red Raiders of Fitchburg. We're just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter. I'm John Gugerty, joined momentarily by Dan Bolak. Thank you all so much for being here. While we have a few moments before the start of the third quarter, we want to thank some of the folks who have taken the trouble to interact with Fitchburg Access Television via Facebook. Thank you to Sean Sweeney, good friend of the show, friend of myself. Always happy to have you alongside. Melissa Bible, thank you. Vinny Wen as well on our Facebook page. We also want to send a special shout out to Rick Ryan, Paula Scacchetti. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Vinny again, thank you so much, Vinny Wen. And of course, Rick Ryan. Always happy to see Rick and everyone who interacts with us on Facebook, Fitchburg Access Television. And of course, a very special shout out to our great viewer and supporter, Justin Maggs. Thank you so much for all your interactions. We love to see you, Fitchburg Access Television on Facebook. We're going to send it down once again to Kaya Hidanovich standing by with a couple of Red Raiders. Kaya, take it away.
At halftime, I'm here with Fitchburg High School's Lady Raiders, Chloe Lavigueur and Rachel Brule. How's the game going so far, guys?
It's definitely going. They're definitely showing a lot of great effort. Seen a lot of good effort today.
Yeah, so as we saw so far with the first half, we've had a lot of interesting plays. We had a lot of interceptions and touchdowns from Leominster's side, but we've also seen some surprising plays like Joshua Nardi's deflections of Leominster Blue Balls. Do you think that Fitchburg has a chance to have a comeback in the second half?
I mean, I think we definitely do. It's all in the attitude. You know, you can't give up. You got to keep going no matter what the scoreboard says. Going into the next half, it's a 0-0 game, so. Yeah, agreed. Fitchburg knows for their comebacks, you know. They do better in the second half. Just give them some time. Gotta warm up. Gotta get them warm up. Yeah, they'll want it. They got it.
Perfect. Now, as Lady Raiders, it is your job to keep the crowd going and to keep the spirit high. How do you guys do that, especially when we're trailing 20 points?
Definitely emphasizing on the things that we do really well, even if it's not the biggest thing in the world, but just trying to get the crowd hyped, trying to play the music that they like, and just dancing and acting like a fool. Yeah, and just reminding them that the score isn't the biggest thing at the end, that we're just here to have fun and support our team.
An amazing message, and I'm sure that the Red Raider spirit is really going to come in the second half. Back to the game.
Thank you so much to Kaya. Thanks as well to Chloe and Rachel for joining us here at Doyle Field, where again the score is Leominster 20 and Fitchburg 0. But as they were saying, there's an entire second half of football to be played. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bolak. Dan, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the first half. It's been mostly Leominster controlling the play thus far.
You can see this throw over the middle of Caden Drinkwater, and look at the moves that he puts on here. Looks like he's surrounded by Red Raiders, but he's able to cut back, break free, and get into the end zone to open the scoring for the Blue Devils. And then they're driving close downfield. Osiris Lopez takes it himself, and the Raiders think they've got the stop here as they make the tackle. The ball flies free, but into the hands of Drinkwater, who finishes the touchdown. And then after a turnover, it's a deep ball downfield, and the man who had the interception to set up that drive, Steven Diaz, is the man who pulls that in for a touchdown, made it 20-0. And here Luke Bolak rolling on the right side is the Raiders with their most encouraging drive. And a lot of athleticism going on here. Joshua Nardi trying to come up with that ball, but it flies into the hands of Braden Martin, who comes up with an interception instead for the Blue Devils.
And Dan, we looked at that last play a handful of times immediately after it happened. We looked at it again during the halftime break. The more I see that replay, especially from that end zone camera angle, I really do think it was the correct call on the field. Nardi never had full and complete control of the football. The football itself never hit the ground, so it's not a catch, it's not an incomplete pass. The only fair ruling at that point is that the ball is live, and when he picks it up, when Braden Martin makes that interception, that's exactly what it is. It's an interception, it's Leominster's ball, and you take it from there. It was a very confusing play to watch live. I can understand why the Fitchburg faithful, just in front of the visiting side press box here at Doyle Field, were convinced that that was either an incomplete pass or down by contact, but based on what we've seen, I think that was the correct call, and it really is an incredible call to make, because that's the kind of play that you don't see very, very often or any time at all. And then even going beyond that, how about the tip by Martin? I'm just appreciating that now on like the 6th watch of it. Martin gets up there and tips the ball, keeps it alive, keeps it up in the air to the position where he can make the interception. It's a tremendous play by him. Fair credit to him. It was really, really, really well done.
So much has to go the way of the Blue Devils to come away with an interception on that particular pass, and so much indeed went the Blue Devils' way. They weren't able to score on that subsequent drive, but they still have a 20-0 lead where they're outgaining the Red Raiders 264-40. Also, 36 plays for the Blue Devils in 15 minutes and 22 seconds of possession compared to 17 plays for the Red Raiders in just 8 minutes and 38 seconds.
Fitchburg has really been dominated on every side of the football, and on top of that, every break has gone against them. That is a recipe for at least a 3-score deficit. That could be a recipe for a 4 or 5 score deficit. You know, their defense was able to stop Leominster 4th and goal inside the 10-yard line. They were able to turn the Blue Devils away once. They weren't able to capitalize on offense. The offense just has not been able to move the ball downfield until that last drive, which was unfortunately cut short by that interception. I actually misspoke at the end of the first half, and I apologize for that. I said that Leominster was going to get the ball to start the third quarter. That was incorrect. Fitchburg won the toss and deferred, so they will be getting the ball to start quarter number 3. And Dan, I really think the Red Raiders need to keep mixing up the play call. They need to stick. Honestly, I think they should kind of ape Leominster a little bit. You don't have to throw it on every play, right? You don't have to just abandon the running game entirely, but I think you got to go out of shotgun here. You've got to give Leominster the impression that you're willing to throw the ball, and then even if you're going to run out of that formation, at least you're doing something a little bit different. You're not just lining up in the eye and plunging forward for hopefully 3 yards, you know?
From how I've seen the Raiders run against this Leominster D-line this year, just running it right up the gut just does not seem to work so well. They're not really finding those holes. The Leominster D-line is very solid in how they're able to hold those gaps at the snap. When a couple of seconds pass, a couple of seconds afforded when you take a play out of the shotgun, maybe the lines can open up a little bit, maybe room can be found to run from there. But just trying to plunge right up the gut, right on the snap, just doesn't work so well for the Red Raiders, and I think going out of the shotgun is definitely going to be the way to go going forward in this contest, as the Raiders are still looking for their first points on Thanksgiving against Leominster since 2017.
It's been 5.5 years at this point, so to speak, 5 years and half a football game since Fitchburg scored on Thanksgiving. We'll see if they can do it here in the second half. They need to score at least 3 times, get 20 points on the board if they want a chance to win this one. They'll get a chance right off the start as we are ready for the third quarter.
Daniel Thompson to kick it away for the Blue Devils. Puts this one in the air as it sails to the 20-yard line. It's going to be Wells. Tries to get out of the grasp of Diaz, or Aguilar, and out of bounds at the 25-yard line it'll go. Give him an extra yard, give him the 26. And that's where the Raiders will start their first drive of the second half.
And Dan, as we get ready for the third quarter of action here from Doyle Field in Leominster, we want to remind folks once again that FATV's remote productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel and Enterprise.
So we see the junior quarterback Luke Bolak come out onto the field to start this second half of play. The Raiders going from right to left in the red uniforms. The brick and pewter, as Leominster in the blue and white going left to right in this third frame. The shotgun, and in motion is Medina, who will take it on the end around, going to the far side. Cannot find the opening. 2 Blue Devils to meet him there in Diaz and Newton.
Dan, that play didn't wind up getting any positive yardage here, but I still want to call out the great athletic play by Luke Bolak. It was another high snap. Bolak had to go up, get the ball, and then bring it down and hand it off to Medina without Medina breaking his stride, and he did that. The play didn't wind up working, but it wasn't because of the bad snap, and that's entirely due to the efforts of the quarterback, Luke Bolak.
Second down and 11. It's a loss of a yard on first down. Again, 2 in the backfield to either side of Bolak. Takes the snap, had a little bit of trouble with it, now trying to buy some time, gets a throw over the middle, and that is going to be incomplete, in and out of the hands of Jared Viola, who thought for sure he was going to come away with an interception, just could not complete the process.
Well, what happens, Dan, is this is a tremendous defensive play by Brian Aguilar. If you don't realize that the receiver he's stopping from making the catch is his teammate Jared Viola. Viola jumps the route. Viola has the ball in his grasp. Aguilar is unable to get out of the way, basically. You see it come in here. He delivers essentially a shoulder block, and you can see him right there realizing his mistake. It's a very tough situation as a defender. You're trained to knock the ball down. You don't necessarily know that your teammate is right there jumping the route. But if Aguilar wasn't there, Viola would have had at least a pick and maybe 6.
Instead, it brings up 3rd down and 11. Bolak will throw near side 1v2. That's going to be incomplete. Goes through the hands of Encarnacion, but I think he's happy with the pass breakup nonetheless.
This time he chucks it up for Josh Medina once again. Aguilar was in the area once again. Encarnacion had a better chance at the ball. Aguilar didn't knock it away from him this time. It just kind of went through Encarnacion's hand. You can see they wanted to hit Medina on the quarter. Bolak just didn't have the arm strength to get it there. You can see he's really displeased with himself. Bolak, the junior, not having his best day, to be fair.
A 3-and-out forced. Johnny El Silvestri to punt it away. Good pressure from Leominster. Good punt there from Silvestri. Takes a fortunate hop at the end, and it's going to roll to just past the Leominster 34-yard line.
Johnny El Silvestri has done a good job today, Dan. You can see from his first punt, the directive has been keep it away from Ricky Encarnacion. If you can get great positive yardage out of it, mazel tov. Do it. We're not going to stop you, but it is more important to stay away from Encarnacion. Silvestri has done a good job of doing that while also picking up yardage through the punting game. This time he gets a bit of a fortunate roll, and Leominster will have it 1st and 10 at their own 34.
On 1st down, it's going to be Newton trying to shake off the grasp of Ganepo, who's able to at least hold him back for long enough that Devani De Leon and Antonio Santiago can provide backup to take down the man in Newton to the 42-yard line.
Dan, the atmosphere at this stadium is just incredible today. As we said at the top of the broadcast, it's been 6 years since a proper Thanksgiving game here at Doyle Field, and they were ready for it.
Lopez under a bit of pressure. Will step up, go to the far side, find some room. He's past midfield, and he's forced out of bounds in Fitchburg territory at the 46-yard line.
I continue to be impressed by the play of Osiris Lopez. I want you to watch his left hand here as he takes the snap and as he realizes he's got to run with it. He's directing traffic. He's pointing out blockers. He's not just scrambling. And then, by the way, Mekhi Newton manages to block 2 guys at once, springing his quarterback for an extra 5-10 yards. That's tremendous work by Lopez and Newton.
Just under 2 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter, 20-0, Leominster in front. Newton trying to get out to the near side, looking for room, never gets it. He's met at the line of scrimmage. And meeting him there is going to be Nathan Ankins.
These off-tackle runs for the Blue Devils, they had a couple of good ones early in the game, right? They had a couple that, the first 2 times they ran one off-tackle left, one off-tackle right. They got big gainers on both of them. Other than that, whenever they've gone back to that particular design, Fitchburg has done a very good job sealing the edge, keeping containment, and containing the runner. They did it again there.
2nd and 9, Lopez rolling far side with a blocker. Gets past the 40-yard line, down around the 37. Saw a Red Raider flying in to try to take a man down, but took down the blocker there, John Escabi.
Escabi as well as Delmar Wright do great work on this play, Dan, leading to the left side. You see there, Escabi is 56, Wright is 52. It's a bit of an unconventional block for Escabi, but hey, he got a Fitchburg defender out of the play.
Brings it down to 3rd down and 1 to go. Moving Encarnacion in motion to the near side, and a penalty.
I think the entire offensive line jumped, but no, they're going to indicate it's against the Raiders.
Offside, Fitchburg. First down, Leominster.
That'll give the Blue Devils a first down. It's the 4th offside against the Red Raiders today, but the first one that actually happens on the run of play.
That's a bad call. The left tackle jumped. You can see here on the replay, the left tackle hesitates, he stands up. That causes the jump. That should have been a false start.
But at the end of the day, the flinch there by the Blue Devils, subtle. The jump by the Raiders, blatant, and that's what gets called. 32 yards from goal are the Blue Devils with a fresh set of downs. Lopez will throw on the far side. Caden Drinkwater has another touchdown. Osiris Lopez's 30th passing touchdown of the season makes it 26-0.
And that's just pitch and catch. That's a simple fly pattern down the sideline. Lopez pumps and goes. Stephen Bate bit on the pump fake. Drinkwater was running a fly the whole way. He was wide open. All Lopez had to do was hit him, and he hit him in stride for the touchdown.
325 yards of offense for Leominster today, and a 26-0 lead. Leominster's had some adventures on the extra points today, but nothing here. It's up and through. 27-0 Blue Devils with 8:08 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an unconventional path for Leominster to get to those 27 points. You know, they had 2-point conversion on their first possession after Fitchburg jumped offside twice on the extra point attempt. There was one missed extra point. That extra point was converted. There was the pseudo fake where the holder decided halfway through, actually, I don't feel like holding this ball anymore. So that didn't go well for Leominster, but hey, the things that have gone poorly for Leominster have been very particular niche things. The things that have gone well have been, you know, everything else.
And when you're outgaining your rival 325-39, things are going well.
Yeah, that's a good recipe for winning a football game, I would say. I would go so far as to say that if you outgain your opponent by 300 yards and don't win, you should be investigated for match fixing. Like, I don't think that's possible.
5 plays, 66 yards, 2 minutes, 33 seconds. That last drive for Leominster. Taken in by Doharian Wells at the 15-yard line. Doharian Wells goes up the middle into the 35, 36-yard line. A good run back there for the senior.
It's always easy to identify when it's Wells because he's got those electric pink gloves.
It's parked on Green Street and it's blocking handicapped spots. And it's a BMW 4S8 F8.
It also helps, I was going to say, for Doharian Wells. I had something in my head and it just flew away.
I'm sorry, I was going to insult a rich person. Would you like to hear a story of someone playing to type?
Sure.
There's a BMW parked blocking multiple handicap spots.
Ooh, boy.
Shame on you, owner of that BMW who will never hear this. Shame on you indeed.
Devani DeLeon will get 1 yard up the left side gap on first down.
Number 44, Josh Cormier. Pick up of 1, second down and 9.
Try to go back to the run, go off tackle left, and it's not there for the Raiders, even coming out of the shotgun. This time it's Newton as well as Josh Cormier. We've called both of their names multiple times today. They were able to make the tackle.
Raiders will come to the line, second down, 9 to go. The rushing game, it's 11 carries from minus 12 yards. Granted, 2 sacks have put them in the red. But even then, they haven't been averaging a whole lot. Throw over the middle is caught by Medina. Medina at midfield, shakes off a couple men, out to the far side. It takes basically half the Blue Devils to take him down, but Medina will get it into Blue Devil territory.
It's a really, really well-designed play, Dan. They send Joshua Nardi from the left side slot in motion. You see him right there. He draws the Leominster attention going that way. He opens up a hole, and then you've got Joshua Medina from the left split end position running a quick slant. Pass was always going to go to him. Bolak delivers a strike. Medina catches it on the move into open field, and then it's just tremendous running for Medina to get as much as he can after the catch.
Gets 22 yards in total. And Bolak's going to keep it himself, fakes the handoff, runs up the middle, and drives inside the 40-yard line, gets about 4.
First time we've seen really positive yardage on the ground for Bolak. Manny Encarnacion a little bit slow to get up from the Fitchburg offensive line.
2nd and 7.
Bolak's been sacked twice. He had run for what would have been enough for a first down if the ball had not come loose at the very end. That time, able to run up the middle, get 4 yards. He's been one of the more dynamic runners for the Red Raiders this season. Swing pass near side for Nardi, incomplete, in and out of his hands, and ruled a forward pass.
Try to set up the quick screen to the near side. Pass was a little bit too high for Nardi. We'll take a look at it again here. That's a very close call. I do think it was correctly ruled incomplete. Fortunately, that was pretty much right in front of our left side camera.
That's one of those things you have to make that call really quickly, as the players need to know if that's a live ball or not. 3rd down, 7 to go. Could be 4 down territory for the Red Raiders. That's interesting. There's a penalty flag very late in that. I figured there should have been one a little earlier.
There were 3 Blue Devils in the backfield at the snap. The referee's the one who threw the flag.
It's a face mask against Leominster.
Okay.
Bolak able to run for 2 yards, and then he was taken down illegally for plus 15.
You know, Dan, on that replay, I'm not entirely sure it was a Leominster player who got Bolak's face mask. Like, his face mask was definitely grabbed. His chin strap was over his nose, which is not what you want in a chin strap. It's not called a nose strap, after all. But hey, the Raiders will take it. 15 free yards.
So now I think the Raiders are about as deep into Leominster territory as they've been all day. They're 20 yards from goal on 1st down. Bolak keeps it himself on the option. Up the middle, gets to the 17-yard line.
Devani DeLeon got walloped as he didn't take the fake there. He goes off to the right and he gets smashed into, but it's Bolak keeping it himself up the middle. He's able to get a few. Brought down by a handful of Blue Devils.
As mentioned, he's not afraid to run with the football. He's taken snaps this season as the running back. Able to run forward, get 3 yards. Still in the red on overall rushing yardage on the day. As Nardi moves out to the far side, 2 receivers out there. Now Early will move out, making trips on the right side. And Bolak will throw on the right side, looks for Harvey Early! He's got him! Touchdown, Red Raiders! The long scoring drought on Thanksgiving is over! And with 4:22 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Raiders are on the board.
They fake the screen right here, and Bolak throws to Early on the quick wheel route. And he gets into the end zone, gets Fitchburg on the board on Thanksgiving for the first time in 5 years. It's a very well-designed play and a perfectly thrown ball by Bolak. Leominster thought for all the world that it was going to be a quick wide receiver screen to Doherty and Wells. Instead, he found Early in the end zone, and now the Raiders will go for 2.
They will indeed. Give it to Gonzalez. He'll try to go up the middle, diving for the goal line. He is in! 2 Three-point conversion is good.
Eli Gonzalez gets across the line. 2 yards means 2 points. Let's hear from Mr. Touchdown.
Plus full home renovations. Contact Matt Warren on Facebook at MCB Construction NA.
Give him the ball and just look at it go. Let's get the ring for Mr. Touchdown. We're gonna beat him today.
Sponsored by Dragon Fly Driving School, 260 Washington Street, Leominster, offering an affordable accelerated program.
Take another look at the touchdown pass. Again, they looked like it was going to be a screen to the far side, wound up throwing to the end zone for early. First touchdown on Thanksgiving for Fitchburg in 5 years. Folks, we mentioned some people who were watching and commenting on FATV's Facebook. We want to send another shout out to a couple of those. Our good friend Bob Collins, thank you for the compliment, Bob. We appreciate it. And do you know a Dave Sven, Stan? The name sounds vaguely familiar. He lives in one of those weird northern states, right? Like New Hampshire or Maine or something?
Yep, I never had the chance to meet him. Timeout Fitchburg. By the way, there was a penalty against Leominster on the touchdown that has resulted in the kickoff being moved up to the 45-yard line.
Might have something to do with what the Raiders why the Raiders have taken timeout. Go over their options here. You are down by 3 scores with less than a quarter and a half to play. Not saying you'd be stupid to not onside kick, but you should probably strongly consider the possibility of an onside kick, is all I'm saying. We'll take another look at the touchdown while we have time here. Again, it's a brilliantly designed fake. Leominster bites hard, creates the opportunity for Early to get open in the corner of the end zone. He makes the catch over the desperate reach of Jared Viola. And then at some point in there was a personal foul committed by the Blue Devils, which gives the Raiders these extra 15 yards. They'll be kicking off from Leominster's 45. So, barring a return for a touchdown, even if you try the onside and it doesn't work, Leominster's not going to get amazing field position. So, Blue Devils, I think, should be really alert for some potential trickery here from the Red Raiders.
Manny Encarnacion to kick it. It will be an onside kick. That doesn't go far enough. Needs to get 10 yards, so to the 35, and it'll go to the 37, 38-yard line. As it goes. But again, that's not the worst field position in the world. And I think that's my personal take. I think if your opponent commits unsportsmanlike conduct and you're kicking off from midfield or better, you should just onside it.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Again, you're down by 3 scores. You were, to be honest, heavy underdogs coming into this game. You've got to pursue every advantage you can. You've got to make the low percentage plays and hope they pay off. And listen, it's high school football. Is North Central Massachusetts high school football in the middle of November when it's freaking cold? That was a low percentage play, but it was worth the risk. Makai Newton got the carry there on first down for the Blue Devils. He picked up about 6.
Good carry on first down. I was still punching things in because
there are a lot of things to punch.
Yes,
that's true.
On this software that I utilize.
That's right. Don't worry, folks. It's metaphorical punching. We're not actually violent people here. Unless I'm playing competitive Overwatch. I become the worst version of myself when I'm playing competitive Overwatch.
2nd and 5. No, it doesn't look like it's going to be 2nd and 5 for any longer. It's going to go back to 2nd and 10.
Well, Blue Devils probably should have been called for a false start before their last touchdown. This time they are called for one. Back them up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 10 now. We'll take another look at it. This time I think they might have gotten the center for that little head waggle. It's either the center or the left guard. Couldn't really tell.
From their own 39-yard line, Leominster has it. 2nd down, 10 to go. Under 200 ticks the clock to go in the 3rd quarter. Play action throw over the middle, nearly caught by Encarnacion. Great coverage by Doharian Wells.
Was really good coverage by Wells. It was also, Dan, really the first inaccurate ball we've seen from Osiris Lopez. We'll take another look at this from behind the play, and you see Encarnacion has to kind of stop his momentum and try to go back across his body. That ball was thrown pretty well behind him. Maybe if it had been delivered in stride as a perfect strike, it would have been catchable for Encarnacion, but with the tight coverage of Wells, even that's not a guarantee.
Lopez is 9 for 16 on the day, 3 touchdown passes, 136 yards. Standing in the pocket with plenty of time. Gets a throw over, intercepted by Wells! He was the only man who could have caught that one. Red Raiders have the ball back.
Dan, do you believe in momentum? If you believe in momentum, you cannot deny the Red Raiders have it. Lopez has all day to throw, and he chooses that ball into double coverage. Doharian Wells jumps the route, gets a good return. Fitchburg will have it in Blue Devil territory. There's still 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. This is only a 3-score game, Dan.
There is still time on the clock. 15 minutes and a second remaining in regulation time. First down, Eli Gonzalez, right side of the line. Met there by Cormier.
Let's take another look at the interception. Again, Leominster's offensive line does fantastic work here. He has all day to get rid of this ball. It's a little bit underthrown as he was attempting to hit Encarnacion. Wells jumps the route, makes the interception, and then gets about 10 yards on the return. Sets the Raiders up, and now it's incumbent upon the offense. They need to take advantage of this.
Raiders forcing the turnover. They've got the ball 45 yards from goal. 2:20 to go in the frame. Trailing by 19 points. Second down, Bolak with some time. Slings it, looking for Medina. And it's just overthrown. 2 in coverage, but the ball falls in front of everybody.
It's a difficult throw for a right-handed quarterback to make. He's under pressure, rolling to his left. You see, he tries to set, he tries to deliver, but he can't step forward with it, right? It's all in the arm, it's all in the shoulder. It doesn't have the zip that it needs. It floats a little bit, it flies away from Medina, and it ultimately falls incomplete.
Brings up third down, 9 to go. Again from the Leominster 45.
Medina also, Dan, he never saw the ball. He's turning back, looking into the sun. You see him running into the shadows, trying to look back into the sun. That ball was pretty close to him. He never saw it.
I think delay just got called against the Red Raiders. Indeed it was.
Fitchburg's offense was gifted a golden opportunity, and they're in severe danger of squandering it here. They're back just barely in their own territory after the interception by Wells set them up on Leominster's 46. I've got to think this is 4-down territory for Fitchburg if they get anything here. They should probably run a play designed to get something.
And that's not going to help. A false start has been indicated. Back-to-back penalties marches it back into Fitchburg territory for certain now.
Red-clad rabble here on the near side are not happy about the multiple penalties against Fitchburg. This is also time off the clock, Dan. There was 2.5 minutes when they were lining up for the snap to begin with.
Bolak will throw it to the near side, and that is going to be intercepted by Aguilar. He comes away with it, and he's making his way down the near side, and he steps out of bounds around the 20. It was a sling out to the near side looking for Medina, and Aguilar was able to jump it for the 4th turnover of the day, forced by the Blue Devils.
Fitchburg shot themselves in the foot over and over and over on that possession. 2 consecutive penalties backed them up, forcing 3rd and 18. Bolak felt that he needed to deliver something. He tried to throw maybe an ill-advised pass to the near side. We'll take another look at it again here. He's trying to hit Medina on the near side. Again, he's not able to step up into the throw, Dan, and that time he wasn't even under pressure.
Just tries to get that throw out there. Now Mackay Newton on the left side is not going to be stopped. Touchdown, Blue Devils. Only takes one play for the Blue Devils to make the Red Raiders pay, and it's 33-8.
Just like that, do you believe in momentum? It has swung the other way. Leominster gets the pick. They capitalize immediately. For a moment there, it felt like Fitchburg had all the momentum in the world, and you started to believe a comeback was possible. And then the Blue Devils said, no, we're going to say no.
Extra point is up, it is through. 65 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. It's Leominster 34 and Fitchburg 8.
Real quick, Dan, getting back to that interception thrown by Luke Bolak. It was a similar thing to the incomplete pass to Medina. He's trying to throw the ball to his left. We're going to actually take another look at the touchdown first. It's a tremendous run by Newton, just running off tackle left. He's got 3 blockers in front of him. His left guard, his left tackle, his receiver does a great job setting the edge. Then John Escabi with the final block to spring him for the touchdown. Returning to my point about the interception, Bolak is looking to throw to his left, right? And he's a right-handed quarterback, so that's already a difficult throw for a quarterback to make. As he's stepping up and delivering the ball, he's not stepping into the throw so much as he's just rotating his hips, cocking his arm, and chucking it, right? He's putting all the emphasis, all of the strength, all of the velocity behind that pass on his shoulder rather than using his whole body. And because of that, he wasn't able to get the amount of velocity and pace that he needed on the pass, which in turn meant that Aguilar had all the time in the world to see the pass, jump the route, and make the pick.
So we taken in by the Raiders. Looks like Malachi Marion takes it. Around the 25-yard line, brings it to the 35.
Thought there was a flag on the play, but the kicking tee actually got booted 20 yards downfield. So now, Dan, if you're Fitchburg's offense, you're in a much deeper hole, obviously. There's a couple more minutes gone on the clock. You're down by another score. It feels much less possible. We'll take another look at this kick and watch the tee just bounce and roll downfield. Winds up into Fitchburg territory before the play winds up going near it. But now for the Fitchburg offense again, you've got to put that behind you. You've got to get right back out there. It's like a closer who just gave up a homer. That didn't happen. We're doing our game now. That's it.
They'll try to get back in the swing of things. They start with Bolak going under center, looking to hand it off somewhere, I think, and he finds no one to hand it off to, so he runs it back up the middle to the line of scrimmage for no gain.
I couldn't tell if that was a designed play fake and QB rollout, or if, as you said, Bolak expected there to be someone to receive the handoff after the fake, or maybe someone to pitch it to. But Bolak kind of faked it, turned to his left, saw that there was nobody there, and just plunged forward into the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Could be the last play of this 3rd quarter. As the Raiders trail by 26. The snap, it's going to be to Devani DeLeon, shaking off one Blue Devil, not going to be able to shake off the other 3. A loss of yardage to end this 3rd quarter of play.
High snaps have plagued the Red Raider offense all day, and this time, Dan, even though Bolak was able to go up and get it, he wasn't able to keep the timing of the play. It blew up in the backfield. There was really nothing DeLeon could do with the ball by the time he got it, and the third quarter ends in a way that's very emblematic of the way the running game has gone for Fitchburg today. It just has not been there for the Red Raiders.
17 carries on the day for -5 yards. The passing game has been better, 86 yards. No, it's even more than that. It's 91 yards of passing yards on 6 for 15 passing. So 86 yards net on offense. Leominster has 45 plays run for 349 yards, 213 on the ground, 136 through the air. Makai Newton with 118 yards, and that touchdown capping that up, getting him over 100 on the day too. But three-quarter time here at Doyle Field. It's Leominster 34, Fitchburg 8. I want to take a moment and thank our underwriters, help make all of our remote productions possible. Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and Sentinel and Enterprise. We thank them for all the support.
Again, thanks to them for all of their support, not only today, but all season and for multiple years for these companies. Very much thank you for your support of FATV. We also want to thank our tremendous crew, our director Nate Glennie, Travis Falk running audio and graphics, Todd Govan on replay, his son Andrew alongside Robin Como and Seth Rigby on camera, and Glenn Fossa and Kaya Hidanovich were our pregame and halftime hosts. Thank you so much to them. As we get ready for the fourth quarter of action here at Doyle Field in Leominster, Fitchburg has the ball 1st and 10 on the near sideline. Pass is complete to number 3, Josh Medina. It's a gain of a few yards. Fitchburg's offense trying to get something going here. They're going to face 4th down, however. I believe I said it was 1st down. I was completely and totally wrong. It was 3rd down when they threw that, so it's 4th down now. And now, well, you know, it's 4th and 10, deep in your own territory. You're down 30-48. On the other hand, it's Thanksgiving, so F it, go for it.
Might as well.
Yeah, F it, go for it. Raiders will go from the shotgun. Bolek has Devani DeLeon to his right. 2 receivers to the left, a tight end and a receiver to the right. Bolek calling the hard count, maybe trying to pick up 5 free yards. He'll take the snap instead. Looks to his left, it's not there. He's gonna take it and run. He's across the 40. He needs the 45. He's spun down right at the 45-yard line. It's gonna be very close. It'll depend on the spot. My gut says he's just a little short. My gut is wrong. They will stop the clock and move the chains. 1st down, Fitchburg.
Bolak just took a moment, looked downfield, didn't like his options, saw a bit of an opening, decided to go for it, and you could see him keep churning his feet. He was stopped at the 44, but his efforts got him that extra yard, and he needed it to get the fresh set of downs.
If Fitchburg is to have any chance in this one, and to be clear, I'm not saying they do, but if they are to have any chance, they needed that. Bolak was able to pick it up. 1st down pass, it's probably a backward pass, honestly. Call it a run in your scorecard, Danny. It's complete to Josh Medina. He gains about 3 yards. Saw one of those earlier that was ruled an incomplete forward pass. I think that one was pretty obviously a backward pass.
Looked a bit diagonal in that direction to me. I'll give Josh Medina 4 yards on the ground for that.
Take another look again. Yeah, that's very clearly a backward pass. And again, that one fortunately lined up right in front of our cameras on either side of the visitor press box rather, here at Doyle Field. 2nd down, 6 for the Raiders. Bolek will go from the shotgun again with that hard count, trying to draw the Blue Devils offside. They're not biting. Leominster content to sit back. Another high snap. Bolek has to get rid of it quickly. Pass to the far side is incomplete. A little bit too high for Medina that time. I feel like a broken record, Dan. These snaps are killing the Red Raiders.
Remember back in September, that was really the one weakness that Leominster had, was they were not getting consistently good snaps. A lot of high snaps on their end. They've obviously cleaned it up a bit, but today the snaps haven't been as consistent as Luke Bolak would have liked, and he's not been able to get the time to throw because of the amount of time he has to invest in corralling that football, make sure it doesn't go over his head.
3rd down and 6 for Fitchburg. They're at their own 49. They need Leominster's 45 for a fresh set. Given that they just went for it on 4th and 10, you'd think they'd go for it on 4th no matter what here. Therefore, it makes sense that the 3rd down play call is a run straight up the middle for Devani De Leon. He's able to get about half the distance they needed. So it'll be 4th and a long 3 now for Fitchburg. Well, he keeps moving that stick. We're just going to call it 4th and a regular 3.
Regular 3 sounds good to me. I say this at the risk of jinxing things, but Fitchburg is back into the black in rushing yards today.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, they're at 12 to the good.
Okay. 4th and 3 for the Red Raiders. They trail 34-8 here on Thanksgiving. It's another high snap. This time Bolak can't do anything to keep it up. He just falls on the football deep in his own territory. Dan, what was that you were saying about positive rushing yards?
Yeah.
Wow. We have seen the curse of the broadcaster in a number of different ways. And sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes it's just weird things that happen. Someone up there doesn't like you. And they're punishing Fitchburg for your yards. How does that feel?
It's like, you couldn't have punished Monty Tech last night? Monty Tech put 44 on Neshoba Tech.
Oh, right. I forgot to mess up the Red Raiders in the 3rd quarter. I'm sorry.
It's like, if the football gods are going to punish anyone, shouldn't they punish them, the school I went to?
No. They know that deep down in your soul, you are a broadcaster before you are a Monty Tech alum. And therefore, they punish you when you're broadcasting. Get a false start indicated here against the Blue Devils. Again, it's the left tackle, Logan Arce. Encarnacion will get the carry on 1st down, rolling out to his right. He's into the 2nd level. Great job by him ducking through tackles. He's across the initial line of scrimmage, across the 25-yard line. He'll be brought down right about there. And now, Dan, you're starting to get into the concept of if Leominster gets into the end zone here, that's going to be mercy, and they're going to go running clock for the rest of this game.
I think that would be a victory that the Red Raiders could try to take, at least if they can prevent Leominster from invoking mercy.
Mercy was declared in the 1st game this season. 48-6 in favor of Leominster was that score. They lead this one 34-8. Lopez back to pass, throws high, lofting ball for the end zone. Encarnacion's there, he's got it. Touchdown, Leominster! Osiris Lopez with perhaps the signature game of his freshman campaign on Thanksgiving at home against Fitchburg. This time he finds Ricky Encarnacion for yet another touchdown pass.
And with that, the 32-point lead. And now mercy is declared.
Fourth touchdown pass of the day for the freshman Osiris Lopez. And you see the running clock. Leominster leads by 30 or more in the 4th quarter. We are 7 real-world minutes away from the end of this game. Extra point attempt is up and no good, wide to the right. 2nd time going in that direction that Daniel Thompson has not been able to hit the kick. But as drawbacks go, Dan, I think Leominster will be okay saying, hey, our extra point game needs work in the offseason. We can put up 40 points nonetheless, but our extra point game could use some attention.
Daniel Thompson came in today with 23 extra points made, and the junior is going to be working on his kicking game, I imagine, over the next several months.
Take a look again at the catch by Encarnacion in the corner of the end zone. He had beaten his receivers. It's great work by him to keep his foot in bounds. Makes the catch, keeps the foot in. Was a high, wafting pass from Lopez. Encarnacion ran under it almost like a center fielder, Dan. Running under a fly ball, made the catch in stride. Again, kept his foot in bounds, got the touchdown to invoke mercy. Thompson will kick it away from his own 40. time it's a low knuckling kick, picked up on the hop at about the 20. Doharian Wells trying to make something happen, but it's just not there for him. He's wrapped up at about the 33.
They've done well to keep it away from Medina, who's got a run back this season. I think all the kicks have gone in the direction of Wells if they've not been taken in by an up man somewhere.
Fitchburg's offense back out on the field. Victory now surely with outside their grasp, but trying to get a few more points, make it a little bit more of a respectable defeat. It'll be yet another Thanksgiving loss, as the rivalry has turned to the blue side as we head through the 2010s into the 2020s. Pass to the far side is complete for the new Fitchburg quarterback, Niall Sim. We've seen him, as you said, Dan, a few times this season. Sim's a junior. Pass was complete to Josh Medina. Medina is a senior, playing in likely his last game for the Red Raiders. Yeah, his last game. They don't do red shirts in high school. I'm so used to calling college games and having to hedge my bets when it comes to seniors. No.
Of course, the pass ends up being a loss of yardage back to the 28-yard line.
Sim will go from the shotgun. Second down and about 13 after the loss. A little bit of mistiming there. Sim's under pressure, and he is dragged down from behind. This time it was Giovanni Roman coming in from the blind side. Sim never heard the footsteps, never saw him coming. He got wrapped up. Take a look at this one, Dan.
Just didn't have the time standing in the pocket, but there's Roman coming in from behind, and we'll take him right to the ground for a sack. Brings up third and a lot.
It is, in fact, third and Fitchburg.
Yep.
Sim will go from the shotgun. 4 receivers, 2 on either side. He has DeLeon to his left. Man in motion, and pass goes to the near side to Wells, and that pass is incomplete. Took a second to blow the whistle, thought maybe the ball was ruled live, but no, it is an incomplete pass. Clock again will continue to roll as there is a 30 or more point deficit here in the fourth quarter. It felt for a minute there, Dan. In the middle of the third quarter, Fitchburg had scored, they had gotten the interception. It felt for a minute like maybe the Raiders were going to get back into this one, and then the interception of their own, Leominster immediately answered, and it was all over from there.
From there, it's just hard to keep the momentum rolling after they had lost it. And Leominster able to push the lead above that magical 30-point mark to keep the clock rolling.
So after the incomplete pass on fourth down, Johnny L. Silvestri will come out. Looked like he does want to fake the punt. Silvestri rolling to his near side. He wants to chuck it. He's going to go all the way against his body. That pass is complete to the center. Sure, why not? Flag comes in. Reception made by Melvin DeLeon. DeLeon will make the catch and be tackled inside the 30, nowhere near the line to gain. I've got to think the penalty is for an ineligible receiver touching the ball. You don't typically line up with number 53 eligible. Penalty, of course, will be declined. Leominster will take the result of the play. And listen, this game has been very well disciplined. Players have conducted themselves with sportsmanship and respect. However, given the situation, I may advise the Zebras that it's okay to blow the whistle and say Leominster does not, in fact, need to run 2 plays. You would be fine if you said we're done playing football. Do you agree, Mr. Bolak?
That little time there is, just let them take the 2 kneel downs, I think.
Fair enough. Well, they will not go for the kneel down. Osiris Lopez will go from the shotgun instead. It's a handoff up the middle to Braden Martin. He gets to about the 15-yard line before being brought down. Some players exchanging pleasantries, discussing Thanksgiving plans. You know, what's your favorite side dish, that sort of thing.
After all, why blow the whistle to kill the game when Leominster is still interested in scoring?
They are, in fact, still interested. It's another handoff to Martin, running to the left. They run into across the 10-yard line. Of course, this is just the end of the season. This is the last game. Leominster's already eliminated from the playoffs. I think the refs are in there going, really, guys? Are you really going to do this? And now the Blue Devils are huddling up. They might just run off the rest of this clock. We'll see. It's the final game of the season for Leominster as well, the final game for all of the seniors on their roster. And it doesn't look like the Blue Devils are interested in running another play. They will take the 40-8 victory. Yet another dominant Thanksgiving win for this time the home-standing Blue Devils. 40-8, the final score from Doyle Field.
And for Leominster, they played the game that they were looking to play. They've had a very solid season, trying to bounce back after the playoff loss, after the consolation game loss. And from there, they had just a tremendous all-around performance. 392 yards of offense compared to Fitchburg's 71 yards of offense. And Fitchburg, they finally do get a score on Thanksgiving for the first time in quite a while. And it is a closer game than the kickoff was. A 42-point win there for Leominster. This time just a 32-point win for the Blue Devils. But it caps off a very solid season for the blue and white, finishing 8-3 overall. The Raiders will finish 4-7. But there was a point in this season where it looked like it was going to be very, very dark and dismal days for the Red Raiders.
Absolutely. Fitchburg started off losing their first 5 games, getting shut out in 3 of those. It looked very bad, particularly after the 28-0 defeat at the hands of the Panthers of Marlboro. You're 0-5, and then you finally come home, play Westboro. They got a few wins on the board. Obviously, by that point, the playoffs weren't a consideration for the Raiders, but they were able to pick up a few wins. There are some positive signs, Dan, for Fitchburg, but overall, this really feels like a rivalry between 2 teams that are heading in very different directions. Leominster has a freshman quarterback in Osiris Lopez, a tremendous freshman receiver in Caden Drinkwater. That combination alone, set aside all of the guys they have who are coming back, that combination alone, Drinkwater and Lopez, makes Leominster a very formidable team as they look to potentially move up to Division I next season.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like right now with the provisional realignments that Leominster will be put into Division I. They originally were placed in Division I for this cycle, but they appealed downwards because they have a trade section in there. However, they've since removed the automatic drop down for trade schools. So that's going to be a little harder of a sell. They might get stuck in Division I, which, as I pointed out, would not have been a terrible thing this year, where they were actually considered a pretty strong team by Division I standards. Would have been 9th instead of the 11th they were in Division II. Meanwhile, for Fitchburg, they're expected to be dropped to Division IV for next season as the current alignments stand. So in terms of where they are going in opposite directions in that regard. But Fitchburg is still going to try to show that they can hang with the best of them. And right now this season, it just didn't go the way they were hoping, especially with, a lot of different players graduating, lost all their skill players, and not only that, losing their entire offensive line to graduation. It was a very young and green line this year. And for Leominster, by the way, according to Bill Ballou, the great record keeper of Central Mass, this was win number 800 for Leominster as well.
Congratulations to Leominster on their 800th all-time win as a high school football team. And hey, by the way, congratulations to you, Mr. Dan Bolek, career broadcast number 499. That is a remarkable feat. Congratulations to you. I'm so happy to share the booth with you anytime I get a chance to do it, particularly here on Thanksgiving. Yes, Fitchburg got walloped. We're Fitchburg Access Television. I am literally wearing a red shirt and gray pants, right? We're Fitchburg Access Television. We're biased. We know that. But also, it's Thanksgiving. It's the rivalry. This is an awesome feeling. It is so good to be back here at Doyle Field again. The first time in 6 years that we've been at Doyle Field on Thanksgiving. Yeah, Fitchburg got their butts whipped tonight. they're probably going to get their butts whipped next season when they come here and open the game at Doyle Field in Leominster. But you know what? It's fun. This rivalry is fun. It's obviously a lot of history, a lot of tradition. It is just such an honor to be able to call these games with you here on FATV. And it would be nice if Fitchburg eventually didn't get walloped, but hey, even if they get walloped, we had fun.
You never know what you're going to get for skilled players coming up through the pipeline. Like, we knew nothing about Ricky Encarnacion when he started, and he was making instant impacts. We knew nothing about Osiris Lopez and Caden Drinkwater, and we saw them come on the scene and make big impacts. Who's to say that Fitchburg doesn't have anyone in the pipeline waiting?
That's right. You never know. Every season brings a new beginning and all of that. But today is about Thanksgiving. It is about sharing what you are thankful for. I am thankful for the fantastic crew here at FATV. Let's give them one more shout out. Our director today was Nate Glennie, Travis Falk running audio and graphics, Todd Govan doing a tremendous job as always on replay, Robin Como, Andrew Govan, Seth Rigby running camera for us today. Thanks as well to Glenn Fossa and Kaya Hidanovich for their work during the pregame and at halftime. And Dan, why don't we thank our underwriters one more time before we give our final thoughts?
Indeed, our underwriters help make this and all of our remote productions possible. Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, North End Subaru, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and the Sentinel and Enterprise.
The final score for the final time, 40-8 in favor of Leominster. Mr. Bolek, sir, your final thoughts.
Fitchburg was able to put up a little more of a fight than they were, using last time out against this Blue Devils side, taking in the lessons that they learned across the season. Obviously, some plays just did not go the way that they were hoping, and they were able to get that point on the board at the very least. They were able to make a couple of drives work, but in the end, Leominster's offense just way too much octane in the tank there.
A tremendous showing by Leominster. You have to be very optimistic about the Blue Devil program heading into 2023. And for Fitchburg, they've got some reassessment to do. They've got to figure out where they're going. But again, every new season brings a new beginning. We will see you next season for more FHS football. But for today, it is Thanksgiving. And thank you all so much for spending part of your Thanksgiving with us. For Dan Bolek, Glenn Fossa, Kaya Hidanovich, the entire FATV team, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you for being here, and we will see you next time right here on FATV.
Stick around, the Leominster Marching Blue Devils will be performing their full marching band show wearing their brand new uniforms. Their last on-field performance of the year before heading off for your Thanksgiving festivities. The Leominster High School Marching Band will be setting up and performing shortly.